Good evening, everyone. John Zuger here in the Fox 67 studios, ready for Division 6 high school state football championship action between Lancaster and the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. But first, the Fox 67 scoreboard brought to you by American Plumbing and Heating. Stay tuned for the scoreboard after this very important message.
All across America, folks call Brian to the rescue for a heat pump so energy efficient it can save up to 40% on energy bills. Heat pumps heat, cool, and save. Call American Heating and Air Conditioning.
Come on, Brian, and rescue me.
To the scoreboard we go. Tonight, high school football state championship action. No score in Division 2. Coldwater in Division 4 loses all heartbreaker to Orville 23-21. The first night of high school boys regular season action, Perry Downs Lincoln View 50-49. Shawnee over LCC 72-69. Elida over Bath 77-53. Lima Senior Downs Columbus. Lyndon McKinley 84-23. Cincinnati Woodward over Lorraine Admiral King 69-37. Crestview over Delphos Jefferson 66-44. OG over Bryan 81-32. Temple Christian over Hart Northern 43-41. No score for Miller City and Fort Jennings. Fort Recovery over Kalida 52-40. And Continental squeezes by Paulding 48-47. This high school scoreboard has been brought to you by American Heating and Air Conditioning, an energy partner of the AAP. You're watching WOHL Lima's Fox Station. Now it's time for the Fox 67 Game of the Week. From Canton Fawcett Stadium, it's the Division 6 State Football Championship. Let's join Carl Metzger, Joe Tate, Howard Overman, and Scott Stiles. You're watching Fox 67 WOHL Lima.
"11 years ago, a strapping young football coach from Beverly, Ohio, took over a football program at Delphos St. John's that was mired in futility. The early years were a struggle, but the program showed promise with a rededication to discipline, hard work, and the weight room. The Jays got their first taste of the playoffs in 1991, and as the 90s progressed, the teams got better and better. In 1994, they were crowned the mythical AP Small Schools champ, but no trophy would come. That would have to wait until 1997. Now the Jays are on the verge of their second consecutive Division 6 state championship, and only one team stands in their way, the Irish of Lancaster Fisher Catholic. Tonight from Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio, it's the Division 6 State Football Championship, and it's coming up next on Fox 67. And welcome to high school football here on Fox 67 as we are ready to bring you the state championship football game in Division 6. We are at Canton's Fawcett Stadium, and we got a great crew of Fox guys today ready to bring you the game between the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. Perfect on the season so far. They are 13-0 going up against Lancaster Fisher Catholic, the Irish, as they come into the ball game with a record of 11-2. Should be a great contest. With me today, Howard Overman back with me, the head football coach for the New Bremen Cardinals. Scott Stiles will be down on the sideline, and our special guest star, Joe usually comes down to do one basketball game with Fox during the year, but Joe doesn't have a whole lot to do right now with the NBA on strike and everything. Joe Tate the play-by-play announcer for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me tell you, our pregame show is being brought to you by the Sports Medicine Center at St. Rita's. Because you deserve first-class care, our walk-in clinic is open 7:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. That is Monday through Saturday. We will talk to Joe and Scott and Howard after we take this time out. Stay with us here from Canton.
The gym was like a second home to me.
Hey, Kevin.
So when I hurt my shoulder and I couldn't do the things I love to do, I knew I needed help. After surgery at St. Rita's and time in the hospital's therapy pool, my shoulder's stronger than ever. Thanks to St. Rita's, I'm back in the gym doing what I love to do, with the people I care about most.
For more about St. Rita's Sports Medicine Program, call us. That's why they're St. Rita's.
You know, you couldn't ask for a better day for high school football, especially a state champion. Yeah, you could maybe, but it's pretty nice out here today. Joe, good to see you again. Back now for a championship game. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays and Lancaster Fisher Catholic. Should be a good one.
It really should be. I think, quite honestly, the Blue Jays rate the edge in this one. But when you get down to the final game of a season, anything can possibly happen because you know the adrenaline is pumping out there on both sides of the ball.
And I know that you'd rather be doing something else right now, calling the play-by-play, I'm sure, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it's nice to be out here for a football game again. Huh? I know you're doing those Mount Union games, too.
Listen, I'll come to one of these games anytime you want to invite me because, as I've told you before, this is what sports is all about.
Hey, buddy, good to see you again. We got Howard Overman with us. Howard's been with us for a couple of broadcasts now. He's still pumped because he was over in Massillon just a few hours ago to watch the Coldwater Cavaliers almost win a state championship as they lost 23-21. But, Howard, today it's going to be a little bit different. We'll be talking about the keys here in just a couple minutes, but the Blue Jays are tough.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You know, we followed them through the playoffs and all year round, and they're just a solid football team. Not a lot of weaknesses. Again, not familiar with Fisher Catholic, but they also have to have some weapons, too. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in this position.
And a good Coldwater game, too, right, from the MAC?
Excellent representation. They had a chance to win the football game, but there's no reason for them to hang their heads. It was a great game all the way through.
Hey, buddy, but today it's going to be the St. John Blue Jays, and Scott Stiles will be down on the sideline talking to us during the football game. A little different this week, Scott, because we don't have to really worry about those field conditions so much.
Nah, the field is in great shape. The kids are more worried about getting burns right now than anything, Carl, but they got some stuff to prevent that, so it's going to be a great playing surface for them to play on.
Are you ready to go?
Let's get it on.
Okay, we've got a pregame show today. That wasn't real good, though. I thought you were going to get a little more excited. We'll try it again.
No,
try it again. Come on, let's
that's
do it
right.
again. One more time. Let's
That's
do it like
right.
Miles Lane does. How's he do that?
You got to touch his nose.
Let's get it on. There you go. That's a little bit better. Pregame show brought to you by the Sports Medicine Center at St. Rita's because you deserve first-class care. Our walk-in clinic is open 7:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. That is Monday through Saturday. This is the 27th annual football playoffs from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Blue Jays and the Irish. We're going to have it for you coming up next on Fox.
They think it started somewhere in the attic. Is everyone okay? Yeah, everyone's all right, but the house, it's gone.
Sometimes you need more from an insurance agent than insurance.
Geez, your family's had that place forever. And all those memories.
I know. Listen, we'll take care of everything we can. That's why at Grange, our agents aren't just in the insurance business.
Tom, I'm sorry.
They're in the business of being human.
For all your insurance needs, call Hickey Morris Insurance.
Fox 67 is proud to bring you tonight's high school football playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the broadcast rights of this game. If it wasn't for the support of the following businesses, this broadcast would not have been made possible. United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Harder & Son Memorial Chapel at 209 West 3rd Street in Delphos. Harder & Sons wishes good luck to their favorite coworker, number 77, Tony Steeman. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable at 695-2921 for all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Reliable has 24-hour emergency service. Lat Landscaping, where no job is too big or too small. Everyone at Lat Landscaping would like to say good luck, Jays, and great job, Blue Jays Marching Band. Fox 67 would like to wish the best of luck to all of the area teams during this year's football playoffs.
Balance. In the brokerage world, it's the art of understanding your financial goals and today's complex market. Our stockbrokers are trained to follow the ebb and flow of the market. They're also real people, just like you. They, too, are striving for something. In this case, it's perfect balance.
For all of your financial investment needs, contact Kevin Lozier at MFI Investments Corp. in Delphos.
Welcome to Mike Pruitt's Superstore. When you're ready for your next new or used vehicle, let us make your dreams come true with a Ford. Our goal is your safety and your satisfaction. So when you're ready, why not make that decision a Ford decision? And always drive safe.
The cars and trucks you're looking for at Mike Pruitt's Superstore.
Welcome to Canton's Fawcett Stadium. Carl Metzger, Howard Overman, and Joe Tate, the play-by-play announcer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, here to bring you the Division VI state championship game between the Irish of Fisher Catholic and the Blue Jays of Delphos St. John's. Time now to check out our keys to the game, brought to you by our good friend at Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. And the man who has seen the Blue Jays several times this year, both scouting, playing, and in these playoff games, Mr. and Coach Howard Overman.
Hey, thank you, Carl. I believe each team has three keys. First one for Delphos is controlling the line of scrimmage. You know, they've got a big offensive line. If they can control the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively, they're going to be very successful. Number two is containing Fisher Catholic's running game. Fisher Catholic is predominantly a running football team. They've got to control them and force them to throw the football. If they do that, they're going to be in good shape. Three, I think a big thing for Delphos is their experience and confidence. You know, they haven't lost for a long time, and they don't know what it's like, and I believe they're a very confident football team in their experience of being here last year. On the other hand, on Lancaster Fisher Catholic, not giving up the big plays defensively to Delphos. Make them go the full length of the football field. Number two, mistake-free game. They can't afford turnovers, penalties, put them in bad situations. And number three, the ability to rush the football. You know, they've got to be able to do what they do best, and that's run the football. And if they can do that, keeping Delphos' offense off the field and scoring, they can have some success.
Those are the keys to the game, brought to you by Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Again, the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, they come in 13-0 on the season, 11-2 for Fisher Catholic. The Blue Jays have defeated Hardin Northern 61-15, St. Henry 17-13 in the regionals, and also in the state semifinal game, they defeated Tiffin Calvert. Game right here on Fox, 41-0. Fisher Catholic, their results, they beat Toronto in a close game, 12-6, and Newark Catholic 10-9. Those are the number 2 and number 3 teams in the state of Ohio. Then they knocked off Cuyahoga Heights in the semifinal game, 29-0. So Fisher Catholic, talked to some of the fans before the ball game. They're just happy to be here. And of course they want to win this game, but the Blue Jays, this is something they've been shooting for all season long. Joe Tate, the play-by-play announcer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, is going to be bringing you all the action of this very good contest. Again, Division VI state championship game. We have already seen one game, at least I haven't seen it. Howard had a chance to see it earlier today at Massillon. The Coldwater Cavaliers, Howard, almost pulled one off.
Yes, they did. They had, it was an exciting football game down at the end. They get the ball. They were down 17-14 with less than a minute and hit a big pass. But unfortunately, Orville had the ability to come back and score again. And Coldwater lost the ball game 23-21.
Got a lot of great athletes out here on the field. We are ready to get this underway. And so we turn things over now to Mr. Joe Tate.
Carl, thank you very much. Adam Fortcamp will be kicking off. He is a 5'10", 150-pound junior, and Aaron sports a green number 1 on his home white Fisher Catholic uniform. These fellas hail from Lancaster, Ohio, down in the southeastern part of the state. The Delphos Delphos St. John Blue Jays put the two deep receivers, Chad Schulte and Zach Weber, back inside the 15-yard line, and we're just about ready to go. The Division 6 1998 State Championship football game is about to begin here at Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio, right next door to the Hall of Fame. The opening kick. Portcamp drives it downfield to Schulte. Schulte at the 20, 25 and 30, 35 and down. Wrestled down at that point by Ed Kinzel, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays.
Starting lineups now provided by Gossard Moving Service, where your smooth move starts, and they've got some great ones on this Blue Jays starting offense. We will start with the quarterback, Scott McCormick, number 4. Dave Martz, one of the running backs in the fullback position, 34, and Chad Schulte, their main guy at tailback, he is number 30.
Chase Metzner out wide to the right. That's Schulte in motion, and the give up the middle, pounding for big-time yardage, still on his feet across the 50 down to the 45 is Doug Martz, and it will be 1st and 10. The Blue Jays roll into Fisher territory.
Martz over 600 yards rushing this year. Schulte with over 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, over 5,000 career yards. Tight end is Ryan Morris, number 84. Jace Metzner, the split end, 14. And the flanker, John Odenweller, number 24.
Metzner out wide to the left this time, along with Brad Klaus. In motion is Schulte. And the give again up the middle, pounding for yardage is Doug Martz inside the 45 down to about the 41-yard line. And it will be a pickup of the play of 6 yards. 2nd down, 6 yards to go.
As Howard knows, they got a great offensive line. The left tackle's Keith Honigford, 72. Keith Godey, the left guard, 70. Phil Gunter, the center, 51. Morris Eric, the right guard, 62. And Tony Steeman, the offensive player of the year on the line, number 77. He is the right tackle.
Oldenweller comes into the ball game for the Blue Jays. He is in motion. McCormick gives to Schulte, and Schulte picks up more real estate. They have pounded their way down to the 27-yard line, where it will be another 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays.
And as Howard knows, they have to stop this running attack for the Blue Jays. The left defensive end for Fisher Catholic is Nick Frazier, 33. Matt DiPaolo, the left defensive tackle, 68. John Ellis on the right side, the tackle, 58. And John Markwood, number 97, is the right defensive end. And so far, they have been unable to stop the Jays with a run.
McCormick with the count in the backfield, pitches wide to Weber, and Weber inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, caught there and dropped by Ed Kinzel.
And the linebackers, Bob Schooley is 34. Also, Joe Aiello, number 31. He's tough, isn't he, Joe?
Meaner than a junkyard dog, they tell us in Lancaster.
Ed Kinzel's number 44, another linebacker, and the final one is Jesse Behringer. He is number 9. We'll check the backfield in a second.
Blue Jays 2nd down and 7 yards to go at the 24-yard line. And for short yardage, Doug Martz picked up perhaps a yard, and that's about it. 3rd and 6.
Defensive backs, Andy Lipp is one of the cornerbacks. He is number 83. Demetrius Lloyd, number 20, is the other cornerback. And then you got Ben Forker, number 21. He plays the safety position. For St. John's, 12 returning starters, 24 returning lettermen.
That's Metzner wide to the near side of the field as we look at it. McCormick turns in his backfield, and a handoff to Schulte, and Schulte just goes bouncing off people inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line, where he is finally put down by Jesse Behringer.
You know, Howard, last year Schulte had 177 yards in the championship game and 3 touchdowns. Hard to believe he's been injured this season. He's looking good here in the first quarter.
Yeah, the offensive line is opening big holes, and right now they're getting into the backfield, defensive backfield, and that's tough on those defensive backs to be tackling Chad Schulte.
1st and goal at the 7-yard line for the Blue Jays. A scoreless game, but it may not be that way much longer. Nice set behind McCormick, gives to the second man, and this time no go throw for Chad Schulte, dropped for perhaps a yard loss.
St. John's MAC champions in 89, 91, 94, 97 this year. State playoffs in 91, 94, and 97. Of course, state champs last year, that big game they won, 42-28, the championship game. This Newark Catholic team, the first ever trip to the state championship game. 15 returning starters, 26 returning lettermen.
Odenweiler out wide to the right, Metzner to the left. McCormick from the 8-yard line. The pitch back at an outstanding defensive play as Fisher Catholic stops the charge, at least for the moment, and puts the ball all the way back at the 12-yard line.
Fisher Catholic's head coach, guys, Mark Crabtree, in his 4th year, 36-10. They have been the MSL champs, that's Mid-State Cardinal Conference champs, for the last 5 years. And right now, looks like that defense playing pretty good.
So it'll be 3rd down, 12 yards to go at the Fisher 12. McCormick throws to the end zone. Touchdown as the receiver in the corner of the end zone is Jace Metzner.
And that touchdown is going to come at the 7:42 mark of this first quarter, and we have seen that all season long, Howard, and you've seen it more times than you'd like. Jace Metzner with another reception from Scott McCormick.
They've been running the ball very effectively this first series, so they came out with a little play-action pass, and it was pretty much one-on-one, and nice ball, nice catch for a touchdown.
Charlie Webb has added one more extra point. He's now 72 out of 74 in extra points, and the Blue Jays of Delphos St. John have struck first, 7-0.
And this is the team you're going to see, Joe, your first time, and they've got players all over the place who have been All-Ohio, All-MAC, All-District. St. John's plays 6 players in the All-Ohio first team: Chad Schulte, Jace Metzner, Tony Steeman, and Charlie Webb, the kicker you just saw there. On the defense, Nick Etzkorn and Josh Will, and also second-team honors went to Eric Morris and Rocky Klaus. So you're going to see some excellent athletes on this Blues Jays side the entire football game. Scoring drive took 10 plays, 64 yards. Time of possession was 4:12, as this is being brought to you by Krause Lumber's Do It Center in Lima. It was an 11-yard touchdown pass from McCormick to Metzner. Extra point good. 8 running plays, 1 pass. And that's where we have it right now. 7-zip Blue Jays on the lone zone scoreboard. And Howard, I think the Irish are going to see a lot of what we just saw there during this whole football game.
Yeah, they've got to try to find a way to contain it. I thought down toward the end zone they did a real nice job with their quickness, with the linebackers feeling a lot better, and they're going to have to keep doing that. The big key is not to give them the big runs in the open field there when they're at the 50-yard line. They need to fill those holes a little quicker next series.
Nick Snyder, one of the deep men, and Andy Lipp the other, and it's Lipp with the ball at the 5, the 10, 15, and gets away from the initial hit and falls forward at the 20-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Lancaster Fisher Catholic, the first time they've had their hands on the football today.
Well, one guy to be watching for is one of the guys in the backfield. That's Nick Snyder. He's number 22 in our starting lineup. Snyder with over 2,000 yards rushing. The quarterback is Brett Bacher with over 1,000 yards passing this year and 670 yards rushing. And Brad Barnett, one of the other running backs, number 5.
Although they tell us, Carl, that this team likes to run and run and run. Bacher, quarterback, turns, hands off, and the drive carries Fisher up to the 24-yard line. In the middle of the line, charging ahead was the big guy, Matt Anderson. He's 6'4", 268. So a pickup of a couple of yards, 2nd down, 8 yards to go.
Tight end for the Irish, B.J. Clark, number 2. Dominic Boyden, the split end, number 80. And Ben Catalonia, number 88, will play at the flanker position.
Bacher, quarterback. Turns to the backfield and faked to Snyder, and then hands off. No, keeps the ball himself. A bit of neat faking. He had me fooled and has the ball up to the 32-yard line, where it will be third down and about 3 yards to go.
Well, this Jays defense only gives up around 6 points per ball game. This offense for Irish averaging almost 30 points a game. The offensive line, J.D. Moon, left tackle, Floyd Gables, the left guard, Paul Geigel, the center, Matt Anderson at the right guard position, number 75, and Donald Shepard is the right tackle.
Boyden goes to the near side of the field, and Catalonia to the far side. Parker, the quarterback. The line of scrimmage is to 27. Third down, 3 yards to go. Flag on the play, and on the option, Bowker started to the near side, but the whistles blew, the flag flew, and things have stopped for the moment.
Howard will tell you about that triple option here in a second. Let's check the Blue Jay defense, and they've got some dandies. Sean Ardner, the defensive end, number 50. Josh Ricker, playing in a championship game. Last year he was hurt. Didn't get a chance to play in the championship game along with Morris. He's a tackle, 78. Matt Schwinnen, another tackle, 61. And Rocky Klaus, number 48, is at one of those defensive end positions, and he is a good one.
Loss of 5 for Fisher on the illegal procedure. It is third down and 9 yards to go. Bowker, the quarterback, gets out of trouble, fires downfield. He almost had a strike to Dominic Boyden up at the 40, but it was just about 6 inches too long, Howard.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he did a nice job standing in the pocket because the pressure was there and it was one-on-one, and he ran the post, and then, like you said, it was just a bit long. Chance for a big play there.
Check the rest of the Blue Jay defensive starters when they go on defense again. Right now it's going to be an opportunity for the Blue Jays to get some great field position.
Here's Nick Frazier to punt the ball from his own 10-yard line. He gets a floater downfield. Jeff Fisher washes it down to the 45, takes it into the 37, back to the 45, and down to the 46, 47-yard line. Knocked down by Jesse Behringer, and so the Blue Jays of Delphos St. John's take over at their own 47-yard line, first and 10.
You know, Howard, this Jays team a little beat up at this point in the season. Metzner had his knee popped out the St. Henry game. You got Schulte with still not 100%. McCormick, the quarterback, has a second-degree separation of his right throwing shoulder, but you couldn't tell it so far.
No, I don't see any of these injuries slowing them down much. I know they're playing with a lot of adrenaline right now, and it's a state game. Let's go with it. Last game of the year.
Phil Gunder first to the football. McCormick behind him at quarterback. Airs it out and intercepted on the far side of the football field. And Nick Frazier is finally knocked out of bounds. And the Fisher Irish get a big break and the ball deep in Delphos St. John territory.
Well, Scott Stiles has been down on the sideline watching all this action here in the first quarter. How's it going down there, Scott?
Carl, Delphos came out. They're playing with great poise, confidence, like a defending state champ does. But Coach Whiting, before the game, told me he was really concerned about McCormick's throwing ability due to his injured shoulder. Right there's an example. He couldn't get a lot on it, intercepted. Lancaster has the ball right now. Back to you guys.
First down, 10 yards to go at the Delphos St. John 28-yard line. 7-0, the Blue Jays lead of the first quarter. Bonker, the quarterback, Barnett in motion, and the give is a straight-ahead handoff, and Snyder drives ahead to the 25-yard line with 5 minutes, 24 seconds and counting in the first quarter.
Linebackers for the Jays are some great ones. Justin Murray, 52, Nick Etzkorn, 45, and Doug Marks, 36. All the linebackers with over 100 tackles this season.
Ball at the 24-yard line. Second down, 7 yards to go. Bowker at quarterback. Snyder behind him, and in motion goes Barnett. And the give is again to Snyder, and Snyder, who will be the workhorse here today, picks up another couple of yards.
Defensive backfield for the Jays, Steve Wiegert, number 40, Brad Klaus, 16, Josh Will, the All-Ohio player, number 15, and Jeff Fisher, 21. Those are all of your starters now. Brought to you by our good friends at Gosford Moving Service, where your smooth move starts.
Third down, 7 yards to go. Lone setback is again Snyder behind the quarterback Bowker. And the Fake to Snyder, and Bowker keeps it himself and gets a hard hit, but falls forward to the 15-yard line, and that'll be good for a first down for Fisher Catholic.
Not too many teams pick up first downs against the Jays. Tell us, Howard, about this spread option or triple option offense the Irish are running.
Well, first of all, it poses problems for defense because it's assignment football. But what I noticed with Fisher Catholic, what they're doing is they're running the same play, but they're coming with a bunch of different formations. The last one was an unbalanced set. They take the trip and put him in motion, and he comes a pitch back. So it's right now they're spreading them out all over the place.
First and 10 of the 15-yard line. Give to Snyder. He bangs down to the 12-yard line. And on his back at that point was Nick Exhorn.
This Irish team averages almost 268 yards rushing per game, 78 yards passing, and they also average almost 30 points per ball game on the offense, and they give up about 13.
Tony Steeman back into the ball game, bringing some extra bulk into the middle of that defensive line. He weighs 280.
I think that's being a little conservative.
Bowker keeps
he dropped it.
Great fake and a score. It's a 7-6 ball game. That, my friends, was a fabulous fake by the quarterback, Bowker.
You know, Joe, he dropped the football. How often do you see it where you muff it a little bit and the defense reacts and they pick it up and take it the distance?
First touchdown to the 3:15 mark. It's now 7-6. Jays still on top by a point.
And the extra point will be attempted by Aaron Fortcamp. Holding for him will be the quarterback, Brett Bowker. And now there is a delay. Coming over to the Blue Jay bench is Justin Murray. In fact, everybody's coming over, and it appears there will be a timeout on the Lone Zone scoreboard. It's a 7-6 lead for the Blue Jays of Delphos St. John, but an extra point will be forthcoming after this timeout.
And you know, Joe and Howard, those weights you got there, Joe, are from the program, but Vic always gives us the inside scoop of the true weights. You get some of those guys in there. You got Huntingford on that line at 250, Gunder's 250, Morris 250, and here's Steeman's real weight, Joe.
All right.
315 pounds they have him listed at. So add a few pounds of some of those guys, and you can see why the offensive lines and the defensive lines have been so good for the Jays this year.
He is my kind of guy. I'm right up there with him.
Delphos had to call a timeout. They had too many people on the field there. Didn't want to give Fisher Catholic a chance to maybe move the ball up and go for two and take the lead here.
All right, they have the bulk of the linemen to the left. The snap back, they're going for Deuce.
Oh, boy.
Rolling to his right, throwing into the end zone, and caught right at the rear of the end zone was Dan Fine, and he made the grab after the pass by Nick Fraser, and it is 8-7 as Fisher Catholic takes the lead on the Delphos St. John Blue Jays here in the first quarter with 3:15 to play, gentlemen.
I tell you, Peanut Recker, the defensive coordinator, seeing some different things out there from this Fisher Catholic team. And you know, a lot of folks saying this might not be much of a game because of the powerhouse the Jays are. But you got to remember, Howard, the two teams that Fisher Catholic had to knock off to get here were very good football teams. One of them obviously being Newark Catholic.
Well, you don't get to this game without being a good quality football team and well coached. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. It's not a fluke that they're here, and they're here to win just like Delphos is. That was a great drive they just put together. Delphos right now has to regroup and put a drive back together for themselves.
Scoring drive for the Irish, 5 plays, 28 yards after the interception. Took 2 minutes and 19 seconds, 13-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Brett Bowker, and the 2-point conversion was good. And that brought to you by our good friends at Krause Lumber's Do-It Center in Lima. And that's where we're at right now, 8-7 on that Lone Zone scoreboard.
Aaron Fortcamp will be kicking. Fawcett Stadium in a somewhat foggy Canton, Ohio this afternoon, although the fog hasn't affected the ball game as yet. Fortcamp drives an end over and shot back
to the 5-yard line to pick it off. Schulte fights his way up to the 20-yard line, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays at their own 20.
Scott Stiles had a chance to see some of that spread option, triple option offensive stuff going on down there with the Irish, Scott.
Carl, is a great fake by Balker. He rode the fullback in, and there's a wide open seam. He walked in the end zone. Then on the extra point, Delphos called a timeout on the first attempt. In the second attempt, they didn't shift over like they did the first time. Therefore, the snapper got the signal. They made the play for the 2-point conversion. Big momentum change, Carl.
McCormick gives the ball, and rumbling ahead is Schulte, 45, 50, and out of bounds. Nothing like a long-distance gallop, Coach, to get the momentum turned around.
Well, I believe that's what Delphos has to do. They've got to remain patient, run the football. I'll tell you, they're winning it up front at the trenches, but they've got a big offensive line, and getting the ball to Schulte, I don't think you're ever wrong.
34-yard pickup. You know, this Jays team, Joe, has scored over 60 points 8 times this season, and they are outscoring their opponents this year 52-6.
First down, 10 yards to go at the Fisher 48-yard line. Schulte again tries the right side inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Tackle made there by Matt DiPiolo, and it will be 2nd down and about 7.
Howard, also tell us about this defense for Fisher Catholic. They call it a 50 shade.
50 shade means a lot of times they'll take that nose guard and shade him over to the strong side, forcing a double team with the center and the guard, and they're trying to free up the linebackers is what they're doing.
2.5 minutes to play of the first quarter. There's Ryan Morris moving from left to right at the end, and they give to Schulte outside of the 40, 35 and 30. Knocked down on the far side by Ben Forker, and it will be 1st down and 10 yards to go as the Blue Jays are flying again.
Again, the district lineman of the year, Howard, Tony Steeman, number 77 at 315 pounds, 6'7", blasting some holes on that right side.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a great cut by Chad, but they're getting some movement up front, enabling him to do that. He's not getting hit in the backfield, and he broke that one outside for another long gain.
16-yard pickup for the 1st and 10 at the Fisher 28-yard line. McCormick gives the ball to Schulte. He'll swing wide to the left, and the 25 runs over the defender Andy Lipp, but goes down, and it will be 3rd down and somewhere in the neighborhood of 5-6 yards to go.
Well, that's what Lancaster, Fisher Catholic needs to do. They need to get Chad Schulte and make sure he's running east and west. You know, make him go toward the sidelines and spread him out and let the pursuit catch up.
Ball spotted at the 24-yard line. On the Lone Zone scoreboard, it is Fisher Catholic 8, Delphos St. John 7. Blue Jays have the ball at the Fisher 24. In motion is Hershey, and the give is to Zach Weber, and the sophomore goes banging ahead, a pickup down to the 23-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and 5 yards to go.
And Howard, you know that Zach Weber, a great backup for Schulte. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing this year, only 70-plus carries. But right now, Chad has 52 yards on just 4 runs during this particular drive.
3rd and 5 into the final minute of the first period here in Fawcett Stadium. It's Schulte at the 20, falling forward to the 18-yard line, close to the 1st down. It would appear that he might have it. It'll be very, very close.
It's had to be tough, too, for Chad, Howard, because he's had that laser surgery over the summer. He missed the first 2 games of the year. Week 9, he strained his knee ligaments. He missed 2 more games, including one of the playoff games. And last week, he really wasn't 100%, but played well. Zach Weber, of course, doing a great job during the playoffs, so it would be great to see Chad back 100%, but like we've said many a time, a 70% Chad is better than a lot of guys who are 100%.
Yeah, and he's doing a tremendous job again today. I'm not sure how he feels. I wasn't able to talk to him, but obviously we can see he doesn't have quite the cutting ability, but he's running up in there hard, and that's a good sign for Delphos St. John.
There's another good sign for Delphos St. John. First down, 10 yards to go. And the Blue Jays have the ball at the Fisher 18-yard line. And Howard, one thing for sure, if you've been here before and been tested in the fire, that is a big, big factor when you're playing a team that has not been to this level before.
Oh, I think so. I think Fisher Catholic kids are at all when they come to a stadium like this. It's a beautiful facility, and Delphos has been here, and a lot of these kids were starters last year. So I think, I think that experience is definitely showing.
As the ball was snapped, flags were thrown, and we have a stoppage with 17 seconds to play here in the first period on the Lone Zone scoreboard, 8-7 in favor of the Fisher Catholic Irish from Lancaster, Ohio, and the penalty will be against the Blue Jays. 5 yards.
Of course, this game goes along. We'll be having a chance to talk to Joe, especially at halftime, about how things are going in the NBA, Joe.
Don't ask me. I'm working here.
Not much going on at all, huh?
This is a lot more fun anyhow, isn't it?
You got that right.
I bet your pay's a lot higher here today.
Well, now you've gone too far.
Oh.
There is Schulte coming to the 20, tripped up from behind and knocked down at the 18-yard line. Yards coming a little tougher now as they get inside that 30-yard line. That was Ed Kinzel who made the stop for the Irish.
What a great job Vic Whiting has done as head coach of the Blue Jays in his 11th season. Over 90 career victories, most of them at St. John's, and we're going to run down some of the things that Vic has accomplished in his team over the years since Vic's been there. Right now, we played one quarter of action here from Canton's Fawcett Stadium. Our score on the Lone Zone scoreboard, it is the Irish on top of the Blue Jays, 8-7 with second quarter action coming up next on Fox.
Let Gossard Moving Service introduce you to the fine art of moving. Let North American agent Gossard Moving Service orchestrate your next move. Call us at 419-225-4818.
House hunters, if you're serious about buying a home, call Karen Martin at Yoakum Realty in Delphos for information on unbeatable interest rates. Whether buying, selling, or leasing, let Karen Martin at Yoakum Realty in Delphos tackle your real estate needs. Yoakum Realty is not number one, you are. Gene Namich, owner, broker.
Serious golfers, stop by CR Golf in Delphos. CR Golf will custom design clubs to match your swing. They can reap your clubs too. CR Golf, 331 North Main in Delphos.
Unverferth Manufacturing of Kalida and Delphos has been producing quality farm equipment since 1948 and believes in partnering with local schools to provide positive work experiences and career choices. Take Peggy, for instance. She's following in her father's footsteps. John's 25-year career with Unverferth began with a work-study program. School-to-work programs improve the connection between classrooms and workplaces. Unverferth Manufacturing, helping to prepare today's students for tomorrow's workforce.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could synchronize traffic to your every movement? If you could do away with all obstacles? Even make trains run on your schedule. It's like that at Shell, where our stations are designed so nothing slows you down. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
All right, the Blue Jays of Delphos St. John. Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball spotted just inside the 19-yard line. In motion is Oldenweller, and Schulte goes the same way and fights his way down to the 12-yard line.
It's time now to take a look at some of the playoff results for these teams, brought to you by our good friends at Interim Personnel with offices in Lima, Delphos, St. Mary's, Wapak, and Ottawa. You see the playoff results for the Irish. Defeated Toronto 12-6, Newark Catholic 10-9, Cuyahoga Heights 29-zip. The Jays 61-15 over Hardin Northern, St. Henry 17-13. And then they knocked off Tiffin Calvert in the semis 41-zip. And that's why both of these squads are here right now.
Metzner out very wide to the right. Klaus in motion to the other side, and we have a timeout called by Delphos St. John, as again, they just didn't get it together before that play clock was going to run out.
And we will do the same. We'll take timeout with 11:17 remaining here in the second quarter. Again, the Irish on top of the Jays 8-7 with more action coming up after these very important words on Fox.
The holiday season is here. In a cheap supermarket, that means family, friends, and great food.
We can make fruit baskets in lots of sizes. And they're perfect for presents.
Don't forget, if you're entertaining, Chief's Supermarket has 6 different party trays to choose from.
New this year and only at Chief's Supermarket. The special recipe cookie party tray.
From our family to yours, happy holidays from the associates at Chief's Supermarkets.
Putnam Acres Care Center invites you to see the difference. Putnam Acres Care Center offers many levels of care to meet the needs of today's seniors. With our skilled care rehabilitation, long-term care, independent living, assisted living, special needs unit, and adult daycare, Putnam Acres offers that socialization between folks the same age with the same interests. There are many activities going on daily that are both fun and therapeutic. Stop in to see the difference for yourself or call 523-4092.
Catch the feeling and don't let it end. Raby for Lincoln Mercury makes it fun again.
What do the letters in the Raby name really stand for?
The R stands for a great reputation.
A stands for Allen County's only dual Ford Lincoln Mercury dealership. The second A stands for affordable prices, always quoted the first time.
B stands for buying your car worry-free. And E stands for our excellent service department to back every sale. Now you know what the letters in Raby's truly stands for.
Tonight's the night I'm going to pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train.
What? I'm making a commitment here.
Trust your home to a full-service trained professional like Canadian Sons Plumbing and Heating Kaleida. They have the experience you want and the service you expect. And remember, it's hard to stop a train.
Need a gift for that special person or just want to have your home ready for the holidays? Then Lehman's Furniture is the place to shop. Now, during our Christmas shopping season, Lehman's are featuring to qualified buyers 12 months, 12 payments, no interest on purchases totaling $300 or more. Do your holiday shopping now and we will deliver it free when you are ready. Shop during our extended holiday shopping hours. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 8 p.m., Saturdays from 9 to 4 p.m., and now until Christmas, Lehman's will be open on Sundays from noon to 4. So shop Lehman's this holiday season across from the post office in downtown Delphos.
We're here to help you grow. Making for the hometown life. Making the people you know. We're a hometown band. We're hometown friends. We're here to help you grow. Making for the hometown life. The hometown life.
Citizens Bank of Delphos. Member FDIC.
Playoff results that we showed you up on the screen a little bit ago, brought to you by our good friends at Interim Personnel with offices in Lima, Delphos, St. Mary's, Wapak, and Ottawa. Howard Overman, the head football coach for the New Bremen Cardinals, will tell us about those important folks in the striped shirts.
Yes, and these important folks were voted on by the coaches, so it's an honor for them to be here. We have Jim Craig from Canton as a referee, Reed Regal from Columbus as our umpire, Church DeLawler from Ironton, the linesman, Bill Cook from Portsmouth, the line judge, and Rick Walton from Niles, the back judge.
Pitch back to Schulte at the 10 and a drive down to the 7 or 8 yard line. It'll be, again, close to a first down.
And Scott Stiles down on the sideline getting a good look at all the action at that very important point, and that's the offensive and defensive lines.
Carl, Delphos wanted to control the line of scrimmage, and Lancaster, they thought they could control their own line of scrimmage. Delphos seems much bigger to me defensively than Lancaster. They got a couple big boys on the offensive line for Lancaster, but defensively, Delphos is really, what they need to do is control the running game on the option. Somebody cover the quarterback and the pitch man, and somebody take the fullback. Right now, they're all converging on that fake, and that's what's killing them on the option. Coach Whiting wants them to settle down after they got behind. They got a little excited. Don't make the mistakes, the offsides and stuff like that. Just play within your head. See if they get a score here. Back to you guys.
At the 8-yard line, it is first down and goal to go. Delphos St. John, 17 runs and 2 passes, 1 for TD, the other was intercepted. Odenweller comes out to the right. Klaus in motion. McCormick pitches back to Weber, and he could go in a wheelchair. What a hole.
Yeah, they definitely took out that left side of the defensive line, blocked down, had a good kick-out block, and he made a great cut because they sent Fisher Catholic sent their corner, and kicked him out, and he made a great cut like Weber we've seen so many times before.
Touchdown comes at the 10:44 mark of our second quarter. Now the Jays back into the position they're used to, and that is on top 13-8.
Extra point will be forthcoming as the kicker, Charlie Webb, delivered. Now they're going for 2. They're going for 2, so leave Mr. Webb on the sideline for the moment. And McCormick at quarter pitches back to Schulte. Schulte angles to the goal line, and they did not get him in there.
Well, that looked like he was going to make that, and I'll tell you what, Fisher Catholic, one thing I noticed about their linebackers have got some running ability. They closed that down in a hurry. I thought for sure he was going to get in.
I think because of the fact that they are outmanned in the line, the linebackers really are trying to compensate for that and moving up to help out, and that time they did a beautiful job of it.
Well, there's no doubt, again, that's why that shade 50 is the way it is. They let those linebackers roam and run.
Scoring drive for the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. It took 10 plays, 80 yards. Time of possession, 4:25. It was an 8-yard touchdown run by Zach Weber. 2-point conversion was no good. And our score right now, and it's one of those important scores because of the touchdown for the Irish. They can go back on top. It's 13-8 as our scoring drive brought to you by Kraus Lumber's Do-It Center in Lima.
So now we get a look at number 10, Charlie Webb. He is a 5'10", 160-pound senior. He'll do the kicking from the 40-yard line as dropping back deep. We have Snyder, number 22 for the Irish. And back there with him is Nick Fraser. And the kick is right down the middle. Snyder dribbles it, picks it up at the 10, 15, and 20, 25, and 30, and finally wrestled down at the 31-yard line on the far side of the field. The tackle by Sean Ardner.
You know, Howard, last year when St. John's won 42-28 over Norwalk St. Paul, if you remember, the Jays were down 14-zip in the first quarter as they were down here early in the football game, and then went on to win that football game over Norwalk St. Paul. And it was the depth and the wearing down that the Blue Jays did on that Norwalk St. Paul team that eventually helped them win that football game.
Walker, the quarterback. Snyder behind him, and in motion Clark. And the gain is good for about 2 or 3 yards. Snyder taking it ahead.
Yeah, last year, Carl, I think Delphos was shell-shocked from the beginning there. I believe St. Paul ran the opening kickoff back and things. But once they settled down, they played a heck of a football game, and that's what I expect to see again today.
Snyder remains the single setback behind Bowker at quarterback. And the give to Snyder. Boy, he ran into a big blue wall.
they're stacking it up. They're taking what it looks like right now. What Delphos wants to do is they want to take the fullback out of the game. They're going to make the quarterback run it, or they're going to pitch the football, but they're going to take the fullback out.
We talked about what Vic Whiting has done since he came to Delphos St. John's. They've only had one losing season. That was back in 1995 when they were 4-6. Besides that, though, over 500 since he first came in 1988.
Third down, 8 yards to go. 9:24 to play of the first half of the Lone Zone scoreboard. 13-8 Blue Jays. The pitch to Snyder, and Snyder is nailed as he tried to turn the left corner at the 27-yard line. He is taken down and then swarmed over to make a punt situation for the Fisher Catholic Irish.
And did you see Nick Etzkorn in there, Howard, to finish that off? They had him stood up, and then Nick came in to finish things off.
Yeah, that was just a fast flow, for linebackers. They love that, where there's no counter and play action fake. It's just a speed option, and let's get going. And they caught him at the corner, and he definitely did finish him off.
Jeff Fisher is back to receive this punt. Takes it at the 42-yard line and is knocked down for perhaps 1 yard of gain after the catch. So with 8:36 to play of the second period, the Blue Jays have the ball back, and on the Lone Zone scoreboard, it is Delphos St. John 13, Lancaster Fisher Catholic 8.
Remember, when this one is over, we are going to go down on the field for our post-game show, brought to you by the Commercial Bank of Delphos. Elida, Gomer, and Lionel have a nice plaque to give away to our player of the game.
To the right comes Odenweller, and the pass down the middle is caught in Fisher territory at the 45-yard line. Third pass of the day. This one intended and completed to Ryan Morse, the tight end, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays.
Here's something you'll appreciate, Joe. These linemen all eat on Wednesday night. The moms fix them all kinds of food, and if you're a lineman, you get to sit in on that. But Ryan Morse caught a touchdown pass the other day, and he was worried that since he scored, that they weren't going to let him eat on Wednesday because he's not considered a lineman anymore.
Gee, my mom did that for me 365 days a year. That's why I look like I do. Pitch back to Schulte, and Schulte wrestled down at the 40-yard line, put on the ground by John Markwood, and it will be 2nd down and 5 yards to go.
Really, Howard, they don't use the tight end a whole lot in their offense in terms of catching passes. Ryan came into the ball game with just 5 receptions for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns, but you can see they make them count when they do go to him.
Yeah, they probably don't use him as much as they did last year, but they definitely going to keep the defense honest. And right now they're flowing hard, and they just let him wide open underneath.
And, Coach, when you get to this game, you just let it all hang out.
That's right. And Delphos is doing nothing, as a coach, doing nothing I haven't seen before, and they're doing it real well. And they're getting big chunks of yardage on each play, and they've kind of got Fisher Catholic a little off balance right now.
Schulte pounds it down to the 33-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go for Delphos St. John.
And look at these fans here, guys. These Blue Jay fans, and although we do have a lot of Fisher Catholic fans over there as well, but you see a lot of blue and gold down there. They've been supported all season long, and great turnout here today on some great football weather.
It's Jace Metzner very wide to the left. In motion comes Kyle Osting. And again, short yardage the hard way as Dave Martz is able to fight his way to the 31-yard line. 2nd down, 7 yards to go.
Haven't seen a lot of that long action to Jace Metzner yet, Howard, and again, it might have something to do with Scott's shoulder, but Jace came in the ball game with almost 1,000 yards receiving. Reception-wise, 17 touchdowns. He was All-Ohio, first-team MAC, first-team All-District, and first-team everything.
Well, I think it's going to happen. It's just, yeah, they don't use him as much. They used him during the year like we used our fullback, but he's going to hit one, I believe it.
Martz and Schulte are the setbacks. McCormick is back. He's being chased. He throws, and the ball skips in on one bounce to Ed Kinsel, who tried for the interception, but it goes incomplete. 3rd down, 8 yards to go.
Weren't setting up a screen, were they there, Howard?
I don't know, but there was great pressure up the middle, and McCormick wasn't able to set his feet, and he was just fortunate to get rid of the football, and fortunate enough it wasn't intercepted.
Scott, a 6'3", 190-pound junior. It's surely coming out of the ball game, at least for the moment.
You notice they brought pressure so hard there, the referee couldn't get out of the way fast enough.
Brad Klaus into the backfield. Now they shift back to the shotgun. 3rd and 8. And breaking through, but unable to break up the play was Nick Fraser. And then, as McCormick tried to get out of trouble, he ran into Moore on the other side from Ed Kinsel. And it'll be 4th down and a long way to go for the Blue Jays.
Howard, you can see why this team has been the mainstay of their whole game has been the defense. Even though they've given up 13 points already to St. John's, they're deep pretty tough.
But yes, only giving up 13, that's good. They've got some team speed. Fortunate for themselves that they did get to McCormick because Metzger was wide open in the end zone. And I'll tell you what, when you have pressure and the quarterback running around, he's not going to find receivers. Your best pass defense is your rush.
Back to punt is Doug Martz, averaging 34 yards a boot. Snap back. Martz gets it up. It's floating to the corner and sails out of bounds at the... They'll march it up to the 9-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go for Fisher Catholic at their own 9-yard line.
Well, Joe, you haven't had a chance to enjoy it yet, but we got some food back here. And Howard, you have at one time or another. We got some food from our good friends from the Carriage Inn in Delphos, Craig Seaver. And I got a note from him that says he hopes the food's okay. He had a lot of fun during the football season. And he says he's been giving us the same food all the time because he's superstitious. Says if this game had been in Las Vegas, I would have brought you food as well. A special hello goes out to Howard, to Ron, Dave, and Joe Tate. That's all of us, guys. It doesn't say me, though. But thanks to Craig Seaver from the Carriage Inn. Appreciate the food.
First play from scrimmage after the punt, and quarterback Bowker turns the left end of the line and picks up a yard, and that's about it. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Had this game been in Las Vegas, gentlemen, we really would have needed free food.
And you know what, Scott? I was just talking about, they're saying hi to folks up here in the box, and it says Howard, Ron, Dave, and Joe Tate. Your name was left off the list again.
And that's the Rodney Dangerfield to the sidelines. I get no respect. If it weren't for Howard and Joe up there, we wouldn't have any football knowledge up there. So I'm just thankful they're there carrying me today.
Bowker, quarterback, Snyder behind him, the setback. The give to Snyder, and he is cut down. Another great fake, and look at the quarterback Bowker go. That's the 3rd time this afternoon he has faked me right out of my bifocals. Wow.
That was a great fake. Delphos, in fact, Delphos fans were up cheering because they thought they made a big hit at the line of scrimmage, and here comes the quarterback, Bacher, and scampers for probably about 30 yards, I would say.
32 yards.
32 yards. Great play.
I was all ready to give a real accolade to the guy who came in and cut down Snyder at the line, and all of a sudden Snyder didn't have the ball.
That's what's, you can tell that's their game is option, and they do it so well. You see a lot of teams run option, but they do it just enough to keep a team honest, but they don't fake it as well as Fisher Catholic does.
Just inside 4.5 minutes to play of the first half. And back to pass as Bowker flares it outside, and nothing happening over there as the Delphos St. John defense had that one all psyched out, and the receiver was nailed down quickly. It was B.J. Clark.
I think one good thing about this team, too, Howard, you look at those defensive backs there, the way they come up. I think they got 4 of the best backs around with Wiekert and Will and Fisher and Klaus, and you saw the speed there by those DBs as well.
Yeah, they just read their keys very well, and then they flow to the ball. They're very athletic, and they're strong kids. They're not little guys back there. They've got some nice athletes in their defensive secondary.
3:40 to play in the first half of the Lone Zone scoreboard, 13-8, Delphos St. John. Again, the keep of the option, and Bulker tripped up as he falls ahead for a yard, but it'll still leave them at third down and a long 10 to go for the first down.
And there's a guy who has been really turning it on lately, Rocky Klaus, who has 83 tackles this year and 18 sacks. He was first-team MAC, first-team All-District, and at 6'2", 185, he plays a great defensive end position.
Third and 10. Ball at the Fisher 43-yard line. And the give this time is no give at all. And again, a great fake. And when Bulker tried to turn the line, the boys from Delphos said, hey, we've seen this before. And 5 guys were there to bury the Fisher Catholic quarterback.
I think they've learned that it doesn't matter if he fakes it, gives it. We're going to respect that quarterback, and we're going to hit him up each time. And that's not unnecessary roughness or anything like that. He's faking being a runner.
And that time he faked being a punching bag. He really got nailed. Now the punt sails down to the 21-yard line, dancing for short yardage on the return, and it will be first down and 10 yards to go for the Blue Jays. Fisher was the man who brought the ball back, and he got it back to the 27-yard line. First and 10 for the Blue Jays. 2:12 to play in the first half.
You know, this Division VI has only been around since 1994, but as Howard and I have talked before, it has been dominated by St. Henry and Delphos St. John's. Back in 94, St. Henry winning the championship. They did it again in 95. They lost it in 96. But then last year, of course, the Jays winning over Norwalk St. Paul. So, again, not only St. Henry and St. John's, we also have to add in there again, Howard. That's the MAC doing all that. And soon it'll be New Bremen, I'm sure.
Boy, we work at it every day, but I'll tell you what, it's a good representation of our league.
McCormick looks over the Fisher defense, turns in his backfield, flips the ball to Schulte, and Schulte does the hard work up over the 15 to the 16-yard line, where he is greeted by Ed Kinzel, who's done a yeoman's job on defense today.
Yeah, he filled that off-tackle hole, but again, like you said, Chad Schulte, his feet just don't stop moving. They keep going and going, and was able to pick up about 4 yards.
Second down and 5 yards to go. Ball at the 17-yard line. Pitch back and cutting outside is Schulte to the 19-yard line, but very little running room as defensively Jesse Behringer got up and made the stop.
What are you observing so far, Howard, with this Blue Jay offense? You know, they have played well here in the first half so far, but it hasn't been the explosive type offense we've seen in the past.
Well, I think they're hindered a little bit because of McCormick's shoulder problem and Metzner's his knee, but I think they're exploiting the things and doing the things where they can still win the football game, and that's run it. You know, they've got Chad Schulte, and they've got Zach Weber, and they've got an offensive line that can come off.
Pitch back to Schulte. Schulte crosses the 20 to the 21. Looks like he'll be shy of a first down by about a yard. Fourth down and short yardage to go as the clock ticks into the final minute of the first half. And on the Lone Zone scoreboard, it's Delphos St. John 13, Fisher Catholic 8, and a timeout is called by the Fisher Catholic Irish.
And why don't we do the same? Again, we've got 46 seconds remaining. We'll have more for you here on Fox 67 from Canton's Fawcett Stadium after we take this very important timeout.
Bank of Delphos, member FDIC.
here.
Betty?
I see you've been in the kids' magic set again, Bob.
I discovered a way to save us money every month. Watch this. And this. Voila.
Wow, how'd you do that?
Simple. I called the Loan Zone at 1-800-LOANS-US. Their rates are low and the paperwork's a breeze. We can use a home equity loan to shrink our monthly bills and buy other things like this.
Oh, Bob.
Or this.
I love the Loan Zone.
Call 1-800-LOANS-US for low rates every day. The Loan Zone, member National City Corporation, equal housing lender.
The soybean is considered one of the world's most efficient and affordable sources of food and food protein. Central Soya Company in Delphos is one of our nation's leading manufacturers of oilseed products. A vast array of products are derived from this oilseed, such as baby food, cookies, non-stick cooking spray, soup, breakfast mix, and more. We take pride in our role as a corporate citizen and look forward to future community service. Central Soya Company, serving our customers, our community, and our employees.
Come home to where the action is.
If you're looking for great family entertainment, come on out to Westgate or Northland Lanes. We've got great food, good times, and lots of fun for kids of all ages.
Westgate and Northland Lanes are known for great pizza. Try one after work, after the game, or after the races. Eat in or carry out.
Get everyone together and get ready to go. Westgate and Northland, let the good times go.
Welcome back. We are at Canton's Fawcett Stadium, here bringing you the Division 6 state championship game. Carl Metzger, Howard Overman, Joe Tate, and our man down on the sidelines, Mr. Scott Stiles. How's it going down there, Scott?
Well, it's going pretty good so far, Carl, except it seems like, there's the defense of Delphos is finally starting to grasp the concept of the offense of Lancaster. They seem to control the option a little better. I'll tell you what, Lancaster's option is much more effective when they fake into the fullback instead of running that speed option. When they run the speed option, they don't get much, but when they have the fake into the fullback, it seems like they get pretty good yardage every time. Back to you guys.
Doug Martz will do the punting. He's standing back at his own 7-yard line. A line drive shot that skips at the 45, picked up near the 45 in Fisher territory, and being run across the field and knocked down is Andy Lip. So Fisher will get one last shot at it, but 35 seconds to play of the first half. Blue Jays leading 13-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard.
That was a nice tackle by John Odenweller as well for Delphos St. John's. And you're wondering some of the teams that this Fisher Catholic team plays during the season. Columbus Bishop Hartley, also Sugar Grove Burn Union, Heath, Granville, New Albany, Millersport, as well as Summit Station Licking Heights, Asheville Tees Valley, and Columbus Bishop Ready, if I haven't said that one already. So doesn't mean a lot to the folks in our area, but good conference.
Back to pass is the quarterback. He airs it out. Bulker's throw was intended downfield along the sideline for Demetrius Lloyd, but he couldn't get an angle on that one at all, and it's 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Of all of the people they have beaten, Carl, the last win they had, and this is a team that I am at least somewhat familiar with, Cuyahoga Heights, had a great undefeated season, had played extremely well in the playoffs, and Fisher nailed him 29-zip. That tells me that these guys know how to play football.
But again, Toronto and Newark Catholic, 2 other teams they beat in the playoffs, so this is a very good team.
Mocker at quarterback. Turns in his backfield. Now he pitches out to B.J. Clark, and Clark at the 50. We got a flag thrown as he goes out of bounds at the 45. It's pickup for first down yardage pending the flag.
Probably a clip in there. But did you see Nick Etzkorn sprinting side to side to come over and try to help out with that tackle?
It is a penalty We've had 2 5-yard penalties, but this is the first penalty for any distance at all, and it really hurts Fisher Catholic because with 22 seconds to go, they were able to get the ball over the 50, but the penalty's going to push it back.
Once again, they had a great fake up in the line, and the pitch was there in his one-on-one. Unfortunately, the split end held the corner, and I was going to bring up a 2nd and long again.
Ball back to the Irish 45.5-yard line. 22 seconds to play of the first half on the Lone Zone scoreboard. 13-8, Delphos St. John over the Fisher Catholic Irish from Lancaster, Ohio. This is the Division 6 championship football game. This is all she wrote at Division 6, and of course 5 other games this weekend will be deciding other divisional champions in the state of Ohio.
Orville already one of our champs today, beating the Coldwater Cavaliers.
Bowker turns in his backfield, keeps it, and boy, March, he had that one diagnosed from the moment they left the huddle.
Doug March was our player of the game last week, Joe, and another reason there, Howard, why he is such a great athlete.
And that's why he got the player of the game. You know, they bring him off the corner, and I'm telling you what, they guess right a lot of times with him. And the other thing is he makes the play. He doesn't miss the tackles very often.
Let's go down to Scott Stiles on the sideline with head coach Vic Whiting.
Coach, you're 24 minutes away. You got a 13-8 lead. How do you feel about the first half of play?
Well, offensively, we're too one-dimensional right now. You know, McCormick's separated shoulders really giving us problems because he just doesn't have any zip on his ball. That, you know, we had open people on the one that got picked off, and he just couldn't get it there. So we're struggling a little bit on trying to throw the ball because of his injury. So we're relying too much on Schulte. We've got to mix the game up a little bit. They're keying on Schulte, but I tell you what, we win by 1 point. Who cares? We're going to win by 1 point. The defense is playing great.
There you got it, Coach, from the state. Coach, head defending champions right there. They're trying to get their second in a row. Back to you guys.
Okay, and again, the halftime score, the Delphos St. John Blue Jays on top of Lancaster Fisher Catholic. The score 13-8. We've got a halftime show coming up next right here on Fox.
Fox 67 is proud to bring you tonight's high school football playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the broadcast rights of this game. If it wasn't for the support of the following businesses, this broadcast would not have been made possible. United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Harder & Son Memorial Chapel at 209 West 3rd Street in Delphos. Harder & Sons wishes good luck to their favorite coworker, number 77, Tony Steeman. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable at 695-2921 for all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Reliable has 24-hour emergency service. Lat Landscaping, where no job is too big or too small. Everyone at Lat Landscaping would like to say good luck, Jays, and great job, Blue Jays marching band. Fox 67 would like to wish the best of luck to all of the area teams during this year's football playoffs.
Create a warm, beautiful hearth with a Heat and Glow direct vent gas fireplace from DeHaven's. You can bring that warm feeling home with logs so real, flames so true, and where no traditional chimney is needed. And the air you and your family breathe stays clean. Save installation time and money with a Heat and Glow patented direct vent technology, where you actually are putting heat into your home. There's even a remote starter when it's too comfortable to get up. No one builds a better fire than Heat and Glow.
I'm known for mysteries, but given the season, I thought a love story more appropriate. It's about Arby's French dip sub. The main character is warm and tender. Then another character is introduced. They meet. They're obviously meant for each other. I love that part. It always brings a tear to my eye. No, wait. That's just a splash of au jus.
Experience the warmth of the season with Arby's French dip or French dip and Swiss subs. Just $1.99.
The holiday season is upon us, and Krause Lumber Do-It Center has the gifts you've been looking for. Take a trip back in time to Lefton Village. These beautiful homes and figurines will brighten up any home this holiday season. We carry a complete line of Lefton collectibles for you to choose from for that special someone. For the handyman around the house, you can choose from any of these tool sets now for only $8.97. Give the gift they can open every day with this half-horse chain drive garage door opener, a super buy for $129.97. Stop in today and start the holidays right with Krause Lumber Do-It Center.
Intermedia 3 is the link to your success. When it comes to the internet, nobody serves you better than Intermedia 3. Whether you're a business looking to grow or just looking for local access to the internet, Intermedia 3 has the right answers. Our associates offer a wide array of computer and internet experience. Intermedia 3, now with local access, designed to provide local computer technology to the community with affordable pricing. For more information on local access, call 692-8211. Intermedia 3, your complete source for all your internet needs.
Welcome back to Canton. We've got a great football game, at least so far in the first half. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays leading over Lancaster Fisher Catholic 13-8 to the Lone Zone scoreboard. And we're going to have a chance to check out a couple of bands, both for the Irish and the Blue Jays, as we tell you about our halftime show, which is always brought to you by our good friends. And since this is our final game of the football season, getting ready for basketball tomorrow night, we'd like to thank all those sponsors out there who make it possible, did make it possible, that we're able to bring you all those football games during the regular season and the playoffs. And one of the sponsors, our good friends from Van Dyne Karate of Delphos, uniforms that work. And first of all, Howard, won't we talk a little bit about, we mentioned a lot of keys during this football game, but the championship game, and how are things panning out so far?
Well, yeah, we did mention a few of the keys, and controlling the line of scrimmage for Delphos, and I think they've done that offensively and defensively fairly well. They had one breakdown for the long run, but other than that, I think they've done a real nice job containing Fisher Catholic's running game. Again, they've done that, taking the fullback pretty much out of the game, and you can see a lot of times where their experience and confidence is paying off, and we look for that to even build for the second half. Lancaster, you know, they're in the game. It's 13-8. They haven't given up any of the big plays. One, due to their defense, and two, because of some injuries to McCormick and Metzner. But you know, they're making Delphos go the full field, not on one play, but on a variety of plays. Mistake-free. You know, they haven't put it on the ground, so they've done a nice job with that. And the ability to rush the football consistently, they haven't done that. And for them to win, they need to do that. But I think also they've got to mix in the pass. Right now, Delphos is playing 11 guys 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. They got to back them off a little bit.
Well, you talk about rushing. This whole football game has been dominated by the run. St. John's, of their 29 offensive plays, have run the football, as you heard Vic Whiting say before we went to the locker room. They're relying a lot on this Chad Sholey, but they've run the ball 25 of the 29 times. For Lancaster, out of 20 offensive plays, they have run the football 17 times. And we'll have some more information like that after we take a timeout and hear from our good friends at Van Dyne Karate.
We're proud to be ranked #1 in the uniform industry. But more importantly, we've been voted #1 for 2 years right here in West Central Ohio. Let our dedicated staff make your business look like a winner with our smart and professional uniforms. Your business will look like a winner with professional uniforms delivered right to your door. Our customized entry mats will make a great first impression with all your customers. Keep your employees and your business looking sharp with Van Dyne Karate.
8-7, 13-8 is our score here at the half. St. John's scored first. Took 4 minutes and 12 seconds to do it. 9 plays, 64 yards, 11-yard touchdown pass from McCormick to Mr. Reliable Jace Metzner. Extra point was good, made it 7-zip. Then 5 plays for Lancaster Fisher Catholic, 28 yards, 2 minutes 19 seconds after the interception. 13-yard touchdown run by the quarterback. Brett Bacher made it 8-7 after the 2-point conversion was good. Then the Jays scored in the second quarter. 10 plays it took for 80 yards. Time of possession was 4:25. 8-yard touchdown run by the sophomore Zach Weber, who Howard will see a lot of the next couple of years. 2-point conversion was no good. That's where we stand right now at 13-8 with Delphos St. John's on top. Couple things to tell you about. Saturday night on Fox 67 will be our first basketball game of the season. We will be bringing you action from Pandora Gilboa. It'll be the Alanis Mustangs up against the Rockets. You can join Bob Arnzen. You know Bob, Joe.
Indeed.
Bob Arnzen will be back with me for his 5th season, and that game will be replayed on Saturday night at 11 o'clock. Also, I want to talk, since we have Joe in here, and since this action has been packed so far, we got to talk. I know you're under a gag rule and all that kind of stuff, Joe, but the NBA, that's why you're with us right now. Not a lot of basketball games to bring to anybody because there is no basketball.
That is right, and you know, it's nice that Howard is here because of all the people in the booth. He was the only one throwing money around before the ball game, and if I say anything about the current labor situation, it's a $25,000 fine, and I know Howard would be able to float me that cash.
But you know, even worse, he'd tell on you, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Howard would be the kind of guy who would tell on you.
You're right.
He'd get a cut in there somehow. But
if there was a cut, but, you know, I don't think
a finder's fee, that's what he'd be going for.
I met Joe for the first time, and I would not do that to him, by God.
But you know, Joe, a lot of people are thinking, well, Joe's unemployed right now. He's not doing anything. That's probably why he's with those Fox guys. Joe comes down every year and does one basketball game with us. But also, the folks might not know it, Joe, but you are the play-by-play announcer for Mount Union College as well.
I've done Mount Union college football for 15, 16 years. Do 4 or 5 football games every year on television for them. And then we also, when things are going well, go over and do either men's or women's basketball on occasion for them. And, you know, this year, if the NBA does not go back to work, I may be down for more than one this year, Carl.
You're always invited. And you do the Rockers, though, too.
I do the Rockers in the summertime. I love that. I love this, too. This really, to me, is pure enjoyment. I have often said that high school sports is one of the last vestiges of sports for sports' sake. It's really what sports is all about, and you've got to go to places like Delphos St. John and New Bremen where Howard coaches. You got to go to places like that to find what sports really is, because the people who are coaching it and playing it are doing it because they love it.
Okay, and we should also mention that Joe will be with us again for one game this year, and you can add this to your list of first, Joe, doing a state championship game in high school football, Division VI, and it's great to have you here with us. Well, our halftime show has been brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Crotty of Delphos, Uniforms at Work. We're going to take time out because we're going to go back and dig into Craig Seaver's food from the Carriage Inn restaurant in Delphos, where we hope to stop by after the football game is over. And if you're watching this, get a chance to stop out anytime, see the good folks from the Carriage Inn. I hope Ronnie Coons and Josh Mann and Scott and the gang has not eaten all of our food. We're going to enjoy that here in a second. Again, halftime score, it is the Delphos St. John Blue Jays on top of Lancaster Fisher Catholic, 13-8. Third quarter action coming up next on Fox.
Your computer system, personal or business, starts here. Brand names in hardware, custom software, maximum flexibility, system integration, a full family of computers, professional sales, service, and installation, system design. We'll help you make the right choice and put it all together.
CNT and Van Wert. Let us put technology to work for you.
The holiday season is here. In a cheap supermarket, that means family, friends, and great food.
We can make fruit baskets in lots of sizes. And they're perfect for a present.
Don't forget, if you're entertaining, Chief Supermarket has 6 different party trays to choose from.
New this year and only at Chief Supermarket. The special recipe cookie party tray.
From our family to yours, happy holidays from the associates at Chief Supermarkets.
An Allstate agent can insure your car, your home, your business, even your life. Who's your insurance agent?
Your Allstate insurance agent in Delphos is Jim Dickman. Call Jim at 692-2236.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
Every morning, the interim personnel bus leaves for Plastipack in Jackson Center. Dwight's here early, and he serves the coffee, and the folks talk about what's in store for the day. Sometimes there's a new worker who needs to learn some of the ropes, and there's always someone to help them out. At Plastipack, the day's busy, and the time goes by quickly. Interim personnel is in the people business. They can find a job for just about anyone, and you could be working tomorrow. Ask the folks who work at Plastipack or dozens of other companies in the area. Interim personnel, they can explore opportunities with you.
Citizens Bank of Delphos, member FDIC.
Good evening, everyone. John's over here in the Fox 67 studios, ready for Division 6 High School State Football Championship action between Lancaster and the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. But first, the Fox 67 scoreboard brought to you by American Plumbing and Heating. Stay tuned for the scoreboard after this very important message.
All across America, folks call Brian to the rescue for a heat pump so energy efficient it can save up to 40% on energy bills. Heat pumps heat, cool, and save. Call American Heating and Air Conditioning.
To the scoreboard we go. Tonight, high school football state championship action. No score in Division 2. Coldwater in Division 4 loses all heartbreaker to Orville 23-21. The first night of high school boys regular season action, Perry Downs Lincoln View 50-49. Shawnee over LCC 72-69. Elida over Bath 77-53. Lima Senior Downs Columbus. Linda McKinley 84-23. Cincinnati Woodward over Lorraine Admiral King 69-37. Crestview over Delphos Jefferson 66-44. OG over Bryan 81-32. Temple Christian over Hart Northern 43-41. No score for Miller City and Fort Jennings. Fort Recovery over Kalida 52-40. And Continental squeezes by Paulding 48-47. This high school scoreboard has been brought to you by American Heating and Air Conditioning, an energy partner of the AAP. You're watching WOHL Lima's Fox Station.
Welcome back to Canton, to Fawcett Stadium. Carl Metzger, Howard Overman, and Joe Tate and Scott Stiles ready to bring you all the action. Time now to mention some of our halftime stats. Brought to you by our good friends at Westridge Furniture. St. John's in that first half was led by Chad Schulte, who had 26 carries for 156 yards. Just say the Jays overall with 26 carries, 156 yards. McCormick, 2 of 4 for St. John's, 22 yards, had an interception. Total offense, 178 yards. Fisher Catholic, 60 yards on the ground, 15 carries. 1 for 3 passing, minus 2 yards. Total offense for Fisher Catholic in the first half, 58 yards. That's our difference so far. And as we get ready to start the second half, tell you our halftime stats brought to you by our good friend Jack Westridge, Jack and Jane from Westridge Furniture in Delphos. Scott Stiles is down to the sideline right now. Scott Stiles is down to the sideline. He has Bob Arnzen, who's fired up for tomorrow night's high school basketball game.
Coach, Carl, he says as long as you bring the money tomorrow night, he'll be there to help you with the game. But what do you think about the first half so far?
I think it's been a great first half for the Blue Jays. We came right out and established ourselves with a good running game. Looked like we got Fisher Catholic up to the line of scrimmage and threw a couple good passes. But our defensive line, I think, totally dominating the ball game.
This experience, the community backs this football program as well as the basketball program. It's a great community for support in it.
Just take a look behind us at all the people here from Delphos, and then look the other side, the ones from Lancaster. And you know, they're good fans. They root for you, and they're not very critical.
Guys, that's from the legend, Bob Arnzen. I tell you what, Vic Whiting's trying to make a small legend for himself. Back to you guys.
And you know, Scott, that Bob used to coach football at Delphos St. John's. Bob Joe kind of did it all when he was at Delphos St. John's, and now Bob ready for tomorrow night as we bring you action between Allen East and Pandora Gilboa. We are ready to go. I think our tummies are full as they possibly can be, Howard. Food from here, food from Craig Seaver, and I'm full.
Once again, the Carriage Works did a great job. Great job.
Okay, we are ready to get this one underway. We'll be telling you about some more stats here. I'd like to thank Dan Brooks, who's in charge of this whole tournament up here at Canton. Appreciate all his hospitality. And again, we turn things over now to Joe Tate for second half action.
Okay, Carl, St. John's kicks off for the second half. The opening flip of the coin was actually won by Fisher Catholic, but they deferred, and they were now received to start the second half, and they'll open their first offensive drive at the 23-yard line as the ball was brought back by Andy Lip. First down, 10 yards to go. They spot the ball at the 24.
Schulte in the first half for St. John's had 125 yards rushing. Martz with 27, Weber with 9. McCormick again was 2 of 4 for 22 yards, and maybe, Howard, that Coach Whiting will open it up a little bit more here in the second half after his comments to Scott Stiles at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think he'd like to, but again, I think it's going to be based on how McCormick feels. You can't make a kid throw the football if the arm doesn't allow him to do it.
Well, the opening handoff was fumbled, and it looked from here as though Bowker was able to fall on it after missing connections with Snyder, the fullback.
And you know, too, Howard, that the big man for Fisher Catholic was Nick Snyder all season long with over 2,000 yards. And in that first half, he was only able to pick up a total of 26 yards on 8 carries.
Once again, it tells you about the ability of this Delphos defense shutting off the run. We saw last week in Tiffin Calvert, the fullback for their team couldn't get it on track either.
And there is another untrack right there as Snyder got the ball, then was drilled to the ground, or the turf in this case at Fawcett Stadium, and another loss of a couple of yards, so it'll be 3rd and 13.
It really looks like, Joe, this half, that Delphos is coming out and giving him some different looks. They've shot the defensive end hard right at him, and what's causing him, they're running a read option to either keep it or to give it, and it's happening so fast he's not able to react to it.
And that's Rocky Klaus again.
He's a great athlete.
Bowker, the quarterback. Snyder behind him. Clark in motion. Fake to Clark. Bowker rolls, throws, intercepted on the near sideline, and headed for a quick 6 is Josh Will.
Stepped out of bounds. They're going to have to bring it back, but another interception by Josh Will. He came into the football game with 7 interceptions. That is number 8 for the All-Ohio player, Josh Will.
Ball spotted up at the 23-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for Delphos St. John.
There's a good indication why Fisher Catholic, I guess, again, it's probably something they don't work on as much in practice as that throwing game, but there's really no timing on their cuts and throws, and he overthrown a nice play by Delphos' defense.
Setbacks are Martz and Schulte driving ahead, the 10, the 5, touchdown.
That's their vintage off-tackle toss right there, Joe. They just pitch it and let him cut. They kick out with the fullback, lead up their guard and quarterback. 23-yard scoring drive on 1 play.
19-8, Delphos St. John has the lead with 10:25 to play of the 3rd quarter. And coming on to kick is Charlie Webb.
That's not what Fisher Catholic wanted here at the beginning of the second half. They went and did some changes and things of that nature, hoping to come down, and everything kind of went complete opposite.
Look at Josh Will jumping up and down as he heads off after his interception. We should also say that there was an outstanding block in there, in case you didn't see it, by number 70, Keith Godey, who, as Chad Schulte often does, guys, he gets behind those lead blockers, gets the hand right in the back of the blocker and just follows him through, and give that credit to number 70, Keith Godey. Scoring drive, it took just 1 play, 23 yards, 23-yard touchdown run by Chad Schulte, took just 10 seconds, and now the Jays are on top of the Lone Zone scoreboard, 20-8 as our scoring drive brought to you by Krause Lumber Do-It Center in Lima.
Well, gentlemen, when this game is over and we look back, that could be the thing that turned the whole thing around.
Well, and Fisher Catholic's got to get something going, Howard, because look at their last possessions. A punt, they had a touchdown, then a punt, and a punt, and then the half came to an end, and you saw what just happened before this one here. So now Fisher Catholic going to try to get untracked.
Not only that, they can't wait long. The thing about an option football team, and that they spend a lot of time with it, is it's not a great come-from-behind offense. You know, they're not the ones that's going to throw it down the field. So they need to get some scoring and get it quickly here in the third quarter.
Charlie Webb, who's now drilled 73 out of 75 extra points this year. On the kickoff, gets good foot into the ball, back to the end zone, and
it's a touchback. The ball carried his momentum into the end zone. In high school sports, you cannot take the kick out of the end zone.
Learn something new every day.
So
Thank you, Howard.
It's going to be spotted on the 20.
And we should mention, too, those numbers Joe talking about, we did not update from the last playoff game. So Charlie's doing better even than that. And the national record I was reading before, I think, was something like, what, Howard, 87 for the extra points? 87 points, and he's not far away from that.
That's a lot of touchdowns in 1 year to give him an opportunity to kick that many.
Now, if he did all that kicking after the touchdowns in the Tiffin-Calvert game, he is well along.
And he also a soccer player and had to go through that whole thing that a lot of guys that play soccer and kick for football, that's all he does, obviously. Kicks and kicks and kicks.
But he's a weapon, I'll tell you. That's right away. The Delphos, one thing I've noticed so much with them is they get a play field position.
Well, there's the option. The quarterback keeps it, and Bowker is drilled back at the 18-yard line, a loss of 2. And it looks to me, gentlemen, as though Delphos St. John has figured this Fisher offense out completely.
And speaking of that, that was Jeff Fisher who just had that big tackle, and Scott Stiles is getting an up-close and personal shot of what's going on down there at the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you what, it was a great play by Will. And then I know you give credit to Schulte running the ball hard, but Dave Martz is doing a great job of lead blocking for the running backs. You got to give that kid credit. He's sticking his nose up there, creating the holes. Back to you guys.
Second down and 11. Long pitch to B.J. Clark. He's got Martz back there with him. Martz slows him up, and everybody else jumps on.
Boy, Delphos defense having some fun right now. And this is what it's all about right here. A group playing together, you know, and that's what they are doing.
If this keeps up, the best thing that Fisher can do is keep that clock moving. It's down to 9:18 to play of the third quarter, 20-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. The Delphos St. John's Blue Jays starting to really develop themselves, both sides of the ball, and dominating the game. Snyder behind quarterback Bowker. Bowker rolls back. Bowker's looking, lofts it downfield. Josh Will knocks it away. Incomplete.
Almost another interception as Vic Whiting pats him on the back as Josh Will gets up. And, you know, a lot of time, Howard, you look at defensive backs, and they don't always get the credit they deserve. And Josh Will, obviously, the coaches from around the state recognize his talent by naming him on that All-Ohio first team.
He has great instincts back there. That ball goes up in the air, and he's breaking on it. And I think he reads his keys. He watches the quarterback's eyes. The quarterback's going to show you where he's going to throw it, and he has great reaction time.
Well, the punt sails up to the 50-yard line, taken by Fisher at a fair catch. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go, and Delphos St. John's will go back on offense in Lancaster Fisher territory at the 47.
Speaking of Josh Will, if you remember last year, Howard, we had a play from that game which they won in the state championship last year where Josh Will came up from his secondary position, hit one of the offensive players, and knocked his helmet off. And we played that one over and over again. He's not only a player who can play good defense back there, but he likes to hit as well.
Setbacks are Martz and Schulte. Here comes Schulte. 40 and ahead to the 35-yard line before wrestled down by Andy Lipp.
Again, it's just their off-tackle toss, and Fisher Catholic is going to be in for a long second half if they don't shut that off-tackle hole and make them go elsewhere, because they'll keep exploiting it, and they'll run it, and they'll just run it out of a different formation.
Well, just shy of the Fisher Catholic 35-yard line. 20-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. The Blue Jays have the advantage. They have the ball. We're in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Pitch back to Schulte. Schulte caught from behind this time and wrestled down near the line of scrimmage, and it will be second down and, for all intents and purposes, 10 yards to go.
Yeah, St. John's trying to win back-to-back Division VI state championships, and as Howard knows, only one other team in Division VI has done that before. St. John's trying to do it like St. Henry has done, and they are well on their way right now.
Schulte comes out of the ball game for a bit of a breather, and that will put Zach Weber into that tailback spot, and he gets the ball.
Watch him go.
35 and knocked down at the 33-yard line.
So I think a little bit different about Zach and Chad Schulte is that Zach not quite as big, Howard. When he gets hit, sometimes he gets hit pretty hard.
Zach just got hit by the junkyard dog. It was Aiello who made the stop.
Yeah, Zach's a lot different runner. He's not, he's not a power runner. But I'll tell you what, you've got to catch him, and he's got some good instincts and cuts.
5'6", 135 pounds for Zach. And he uses all of it.
Shotgun formation. McCormick back. Winds up, lets it go, and it is knocked down. Going up is Jesse Behringer for the Irish, and for the Delphos St. John's Blue Jay, Jace Metzner, incomplete.
That was a big stop, Howard.
I think you can see there that McCormick's arm strength is not where it's been all year. Usually he hits Metzger in stride. He throws it out there and lets him run underneath it. There you can see he had to kind of wait for it.
Fourth down, 8 yards to go. Martz will be back to punt. Doug Martz. That's the ball, and now he gave it a stutter step and then kicks it downfield. It is caught by John Markwood, and Markwood is down in a hurry.
I don't know about that one, Howard. That was pretty dangerous.
I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a catch, but I'm not sure that was the thing that their coach wanted him to do.
Remember, when this one is over, we are going to go down on the field. We have the fifth quarter, as we call it. We're going to have a chance to interview some of the, or hoping at this point, the Delphos St. John Blue Jay football players and coaches as they celebrate another state championship, and they're a quarter and a half away right now.
Barnett out wide to the left, and Dominic Boyden to the right side. Snyder behind Bowker. Clark in motion, and the give is to Snyder, and Snyder stacked up at the 15-yard line, picked up a yard and a half.
Again, I believe Fisher Catholic needs to find a way to throw some maybe three-step drop passes or something to loosen up these defensive backs, because they're just right up on the line of scrimmage with the linebackers.
Second down, 8 yards to go on the Lone Zone scoreboard with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to play of the third quarter. Blue Jays 20, Irish 8. Bowker behind Paul Geigel. And before he can do anything more, he is down. Martz buries him again.
He's having another outstanding football game, Howard, as Doug told us after we chose him last year for player of the game that his dad even said, his dad's Joe Martz said, I think those guys from Fox are going to pick a defensive player tonight for player of the game, and he was exactly right, and he's doing it again this week.
Well, so often it's their defense that picks them up, puts the offense in great scoring position. Sometimes the offense gets a lot of credit, but their defense puts them in great position to put points on the board, and plays like that out of Doug is going to give him great field position again.
And he'll be back next year. It's a junior.
A lot of them back.
There's a pass thrown into no man's land. I guess the closest Irish to it was B.J. Clark, but he had no chance at all. Josh Wilk comes up hobbling a little bit.
And he's kind of unhappy because he fell down. If Josh wouldn't have fallen down, he probably could have stepped over a couple steps there and picked that pass off.
4th down, 10 yards to go. This is the 5th punt of the game for the Irish of Lancaster Fisher Catholic.
St. John's should get great field position again.
And the punt is a sailor that comes to the 43, picked off by Fisher. Manages to stay up, goes, there's a flag down, and he falls forward to the 33-yard line, but the flag is back on the turf at the 44.
Probably a hold or a clip in there against the Jays, and probably move that one back a little bit. The attendance last year at the state championship game in Massillon was 8,012. And Joe, I think you told us this place holds about 23,000.
Right.
So we have not heard the official attendance yet today, but we've got a real nice crowd here.
Yeah, from what I see, I think everybody came over from Delphos except the fire department and the policemen.
I'm sure they're here somewhere. Maybe didn't bring the trucks and cars, but...
Looks like we had a little clip. Yeah, clipping penalty.
Yeah, that's the reason the ball is now back in Delphos St. John territory at the 41-yard line. Schulte back in the ball game. Set back behind Dave Martz. And there is Dave Martz heading for open country all the way to the Fisher 40.
What a weapon. Dave Martz came into the football game with 7 touchdowns and over 650 yards rushing. And he's at, as you know, Howard, every now and then when they keep going at you with Chad Schulte and throw the passes to Metzner, they sneak in Martz in there and they try him on that wraparound draw sometimes, and he just explodes.
He's a true fullback. I mean, he does a real nice job on the kick-out blocks and leading those tailbacks in. But I'll tell you what, when he gets his opportunity to put his hands on it, he makes the best of it.
19-yard pickup, 1st down. Fake to Martz, quarterback keep. Now the pitch back to Schulte, and he's down the sideline and knocked out of bounds by Demetrius Lloyd at the 7-yard line. Coach, that's just the way they diagram it for practice.
Well, you couldn't have done any better. The play before, they give it to Martz for a big gain. Now they fake it to him in the line, and they all just jump right to him. And McCormick comes out here, and he's kind of surprised, and he makes the pitch 10 yards downfield off of a defensive corner. And there's nobody left out there for the pitch man.
Chad, one of the 3 Schulte brothers with a lot of yards for St. John's. Todd Schulte and his other brother, Scott Schulte. And Chad's showing you right now why he is #1 in career rushing for the Jays.
At the 8, they give to Schulte, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. He took Jesse Behringer with him.
I'll tell you how you can tell that the offensive line is winning the game up there is when you see a trail of white all the way to the end zone laying on the ground. You know, it just looks like a big trail, and that's what's happening right now.
That touchdown comes at the 4:28 mark of the 3rd quarter, and as these guys have pointed out, it's all St. John's right now, 26-8.
And the snap back, and the kick is no good. One of the few times this year that we had to say that after a PAT attempt by Charlie Webb.
And let's see what Scott Stiles is doing down there on the sideline. Scotty!
Carl, fellas, it's quite evident. Strength and speed kills. And right now, Delphos is wearing down Lancaster. There's no doubt about it. And the quarterback for Lancaster, you can see he's taking his toll on running the option. Every series, he gets up slower and slower. The last time he walked, took his helmet off, sat down on the bench, and tossed his helmet aside. Frustration starting to set in. You're starting to see why they're the state champions, and they're going on their way to winning another one right now.
Yeah, and Scott has not made that official prediction yet, as he usually does, somewhere in the 4th quarter. But we'll see what Scott thinks when we get there. And also also you'll probably hear his famous zing sometime in the fourth quarter as well. Right, Scott?
Zach Zener-Weber will score again before this game's over with.
There's one of our predictions. Scoring drive brought to you by Krause Lumber Do-It Center in Lima. Again, Chad Schulte, an 8-yard touchdown run. 3 plays, 59 yards, took only 23 seconds. And again, the second touchdown in a row by Chad. It is now 26-8 Jays.
3 possessions for Delphos St. John in the second half. 2 of them have resulted in touchdowns.
It's called adjustments at the half, huh, Howard?
Well, I don't know how much adjustments they've made. I think they're doing what they've done best all year. And I'll tell you what's even more amazing is Chad Schulte, all the things that he's overcome and being able to play the way he is today.
Ball bouncing back down at the 5-yard line, and B.J. Clark has an opening on the far side, and Josh Will finally threw him out of bounds at the Delphos St. John 47-yard line. So first down, 10 yards to go for the Irish. Fisher Catholic of Lancaster trailing in this game 26-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard with 4:20 to play in the third quarter. Ben Catalonia is out very wide to the left. The quarterback with Clark in motion. The give is to Snyder, and he pounds his way forward to the 41-yard line. In fact, beyond that to the 39, where they finally drag him down.
And again, these Irish fans still on their feet. They've seen their team come back many a time this year, although they've beat up on a lot of their opponents. But they are still in this football game, although they trail 26-8.
That's one of the most positive things they've had happen here the second half on first down play, gaining almost 8 yards, and they need to continue doing so.
2nd and 3. And boom, I want to tell you, there was a big-time tackle by number 78, Josh Ricker, 6'2", 240, a senior, and he got to the ball just at the same moment the quarterback got to the ball.
I was telling Howard before the football game, there's a couple of guys on this team who are really pumped about playing in the state championship game, and one of them, the right guard, Eric Morris, who was in a wheelchair this time last year, and also Josh Ricker, who was injured.
So it's third down and 6 yards to go. Down to 3 minutes to play in the third period. And the give fumbled, and the ball was picked up by Delphos St. John. The recovery made by Jeff Fisher, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays at the 40-yard line.
Well, we talked about what Fisher Catholic has done in their last possessions. This half, an interception, 2 punts, and now a fumble, and things not looking too good right now, Howard, for the Irish.
You know, we stress a lot of time as coaches that this game is played with emotion, and it's very evident right now that Delphos is playing with a lot of emotion, and it's going to be tough for Fisher Catholic to overcome this.
Clock moves within the 3-minute mark of the third quarter as McCormick gives you Schulte. He fumbles the ball, and it looks like Fisher Catholic may have recovered. They have.
There was a big-time hit in there somewhere by one of those Irish players. You don't see the Jays cough up the football too much, especially when they get hit. A lot of tough players in that backfield, but again, they exchange turnovers now, and the Irish will have another shot at it.
I don't think it was so much the hit as it was just the exchange from the quarterback to the running back. I don't think Chad Schulte ever had the ball, so I'm not sure whose fault it is, but you know, those things, I guess, it just proves that Delphos is yet human, and they do make mistakes also.
1st and 10 at the Delphos St. John 38-yard line. Pauker in the backfield gives to B.J. Clark, who looks for running room and doesn't find much, maybe a yard.
You know, Fisher Catholic right now, their coach is over there, and I know how it felt is, you know, what are we going to try next? You know, their defense, again, Delphos runs so well. It looks like on that counter it was there, and all of a sudden it was closed off very quickly.
Well, 2 losses this year for the Irish. The only 2 teams to beat them was Columbus Bishop Hartley 27-7, and also they lost big to Granville 42-9 regular season.
Second down, a long 9 for the Irish. The backfield, the give to Charlie Webb. Oh, I'm reading the wrong roster here.
I don't have a 10 on my roster.
I don't either.
Let's check the other official roster. We have 9 rosters over here, so we'll look at another one here.
Turnovers, by the way, each team with an interception, each team with a fumble.
Nope, not on the official roster.
The official. Somebody had to do some jersey changing here. They're trying to throw a wrench in us into the things here.
Well, the mystery man is still the lone setback behind Brett Bowker, the quarterback. And he gets the ball again and is dropped at the 28-yard line.
And obviously 4-down territory, trailing 26-8. We should mention, too, you know, they got the turf out here. This also, since this is the Hall of Fame right here, Howard, they play the big Hall of Fame game here. That's coming up, what, in August?
Yeah, the Browns. The Browns will be back. And this is a beautiful facility. I think this is the second year with turf, and it's just a great place. You know, up here in this press box, a beautiful view for a football game.
Big 4th down, guys.
4th down and a yard to go. Bowker sends Clark in motion, and the give is to number 10, and he is
I'll tell you what,
close.
It's going to go by the spot here, Joe. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. You want
to call this one, or?
Well, Vic Whiting is calling it. He's saying Vic's right. They didn't get it. And that defense comes through one more time for Lancaster Fisher Catholic. And again, Scott Stiles down there on the sideline as we're approaching the end of the 3rd quarter. But Scott, another defensive stand by the Jays.
Not giving any momentum back to Lancaster, Carl. That's the name of the game. This deep into the game. Delphos wants to keep control of the game, run the clock down, and gain their 2nd straight championship. I'll tell you what, I'm standing down here in the end of the end zone. This is a beautiful night for football, a beautiful place. The only thing ugly is up there in the press box for you. That's you, Carl. Back to you guys.
I was thinking you're down there with all your friends, Scott.
You know, there used to be an old guy catch extra points for the Browns down in the old stadium. And he looks like he might be a candidate for that job with the new Browns.
Well,
There's a flag on the
he better be careful.
Flag.
He's walking to the other side, too.
Scott, he came from the old dog pound, and that's why he's standing down there. He thinks that's the dog pound.
Motion penalty puts the ball back at the 24-yard line.
Yeah.
And it will be 1st down and 15 yards to go with less than a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. On the Lone Zone scoreboard, Blue Jays 26, the Irish of Fisher Catholic 8. At one point of this game, it was 8-7. Pitch back to Schulte. He looked for the open door, and he found it, and it's a foot race now. Schulte trying to cut back, and he did a beautiful job of leaving Ben Forker, and finally brought down all the way to the Fisher Catholic 30-yard line.
And Joe, if you notice what they've been doing, they've been running that off-tackle toss to the strong side, and now they got Fisher Catholic really shifting their defense over, and they come back to the weak side, and basically it's one-on-one blocking, and now you send your guard and your fullback, and Delphos had them outnumbered at the point of attack.
And one thing Chad wasn't doing, he wasn't able to change directions a lot, and look there, Coach, that he was able to do that easily.
Well, the other thing was just to shift it in another gear. You know, years past, last year he'd have scored because of his speed, but right now he's hindered just a little bit. But again, he can play for me.
From the 32, a handoff that takes the ball down to the 27-yard line. Ball carried by Zach Weber. Oh, Nick Snyder changed his jersey.
Well, the 4 fingers are going up, guys, and you know what that means. The end of the quarter, the St. John Blue Jays put the 4 fingers up, which means the 4th quarter belongs to them, and they are just 1 quarter away from their 2nd straight Division VI championship, as the fans in the stands certainly can smell it right now. 26-8 after 3 quarters. We'll have 4th quarter action for you coming up next on Fox.
When we built our house, we found a lot that was just perfect.
Yeah, well, it was the worst sight I'd ever seen.
It had everything.
Earthquakes, tidal waves, Horizontal raise.
We wanted lots of windows.
I insisted on Anderson windows.
At Anderson, we appreciate the builders who time after time make it look easy.
We're still in love with this house.
And I'm still recovering.
Worry-proof, time-proof. Anderson Windows.
Your Anderson window dealer is Vetter Lumber in Bluffton and Fort Jennings.
We're still pushing, pulling, and towing here at LaRich. If you can get your old car in here, we'll guarantee you $1,000 towards the purchase of any used car on the pavement. And at LaRich, we've got hundreds of quality cars, trucks, and vans. And with on-the-spot financing, we'll get you in the car you want today. So come on, push, pull, or tow in your old car and get $1,000 towards your trade. Guaranteed.
LaRich Chevrolet and Cadillac in the heart of downtown Findlay. LaRich.
There's always something cooking at the Carriage Inn in Delphos. Whether it's soups, salads, sandwiches, lunch, or dinner, the Carriage Inn in Delphos has home-cooked recipes for all ages. Lots to choose from on the sandwich board. There's a different kind of soup in the kettle every day, and the dinner entrees are magnifique. A Friday night tradition in Delphos is Carriage Inn fish, all you care to eat, and plenty of sides to go with it. If you can find room, sample a piece of homemade pie, baked daily, at the Carriage Inn, 1201 East 5th Street in Delphos.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity, thanks among others to real community banks that invested in your hometown. So that one day, you can tell your grandchildren about how at least once, your walk to school was uphill both ways, just like your dad.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Welcome back to Fawcett Stadium. We are in Canton. Carl Metzger, Howard Overman, Joe Tate, and Scott Stiles bringing you this Division VI state championship game. The Jays, guys, just 12 minutes away from another championship.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Ball in Fisher territory at the 28. And that time, McCormick ended up going the wrong way. Big time, wrestled down across the 35. His knee touchdown, they said, at the 33. So it will be third down and about 11. Short 11, long 10.
That was Nick Frazier with that tackle.
Joe, looked like Delphos came back with that option. He had success before, but their defensive line got up the field and McCormick wasn't able to ride it out and run it.
Brian Morris wide to the right, Jace Metzner wide to the left. Brad Klaus in the slot, and McCormick lobs one, dropped by Doug Martz. They said people running all over the field, then set up the screen for March. He couldn't get the handle on it. It will be fourth down, and for all intents and purposes, 10 yards to go.
You know, I think even if he would have completed that, I don't believe he would have been able to get enough for the first down. I think Fisher Catholic did a nice job playing that screen pass.
So the ball is the 33. Fourth down, 10.5 yards to go. And back to punt the football is Doug Martz. He will obviously attempt to put it somewhere near those orange markers at the front of the end zone. Oh, it's a fake. Give to Schulte. Schulte, 30. Schulte, 25, but short of the first down yardage. Tripped up on the far side by Ed Kinzel.
That doesn't hurt a lot because they're still going to have the ball deep in their own territory as we throw up for you the final AP standings of how things ended up in Division VI this year. You see the St. John Blue Jays again winning the #1 position, and of the other team that has left, it was Fisher Catholic finishing up number 11. But again, they knocked off both Toronto and Newark Catholic. They were both top 10 teams, Toronto 2 and Newark Catholic 3, to advance to the state championship game.
Keep in mind now, number 10 in the Fisher backfield is Nick Snyder. He changed jerseys. He had been wearing number 22. And getting the ball to B.J. Clark as he came around the right end of the line, but found little yardage available to him. They'll put it down at the 22, and that should be good for no gain. Second down, 10 yards to go.
That's going to not help out too much, Howard. They're going to try to run the football against the Jays right now, down 26-8. You know, they did lead after one quarter, 8-7. And again, the halftime score was 13-8. The Jays have scored twice since that time. That's where we're at right now, 26-8.
Again, the triple option is not a great catch-up offense.
Redbacher in the backfield, hands to B.J. Clark, and Clark fights his way up over the 35 to the 38-yard line, and from here it looks as though he has first down yardage.
That's the first time we've really seen a straight counter play like that, Howard.
Yeah, almost a little bit of signs of a little wing T action. And but I think what they've been doing with that play is they've been running a little bit of counter fake and then rolling out and running their bootleg off of that. But that's the first time I think we've seen it give it to him up the middle, and it's very successful for him.
Clark comes out very wide to the right. Andy Lipp goes way out to the left. Snyder remains the lone setback. Redbacher, the quarterback, gives the ball to Snyder, and Snyder pounds his way across the 40 to the 41 or 42-yard line, and he is buried under a sea of blue, and way down there at the bottom of that pileup was Nick Yeager.
I tell you, Howard, on that right side of that Blue Jay defense, it's just a mess for the Irish as they're trying to run the ball on that side. There's always 3 or 4 Jays there, and they're getting nothing on that side.
And I think that's why you're seeing them run some counter. This straight-ahead stuff is just not working. They've got to try to get them over pursuing one way and catching their defense off guard. But, again, their speed, they're able to overcome that also.
Yeah,
timeout, Delphos St. John.
And we will take the timeout of the 9:25 mark of our fourth quarter. Again, Jays on top, 26-8.
Delphos is a great place to live and raise a family. If you're thinking about building a new home in Delphos, consider the benefits of Heritage Meadow off State Route 190. Heritage Meadow has more than 20 lots to choose from. Most are 96 feet by 140 feet. All lots have underground utilities and adhere to certain building codes and restrictions. Heritage Meadow is serviced by the City of Delphos, and all lots are zoned as non-commercial. Lots start at $17,500. Call for a quote today.
Come home to where the action is.
Thinking of building your dream home? Make sure you start with a top quality foundation from Von Sossen Contracting. At Von Sossen Contracting, we cut no corners using state-of-the-art rubber wall waterproofing, alternate sump systems, ample stone fill, and solid steel reinforcement which meet or exceed industry standards. Combine this with over 35 years of experience and expertise, and the results are a foundation that'll last a lifetime. Don't compromise the quality of your dreams. Choose Von Sossen Contracting.
There was a time when your child's savings were invested locally by people you knew and trusted. But today you need to be more careful because while out-of-state banks want you to think their interests are in your community, about as soon as you get your deposit slip, they send that money somewhere else.
Where's my money go, Daddy?
When you see this sign, you know we are investing in your community.
At Mickey D's. 8488. At Mickey D's, this is the place.
for $88. Only McDonald's could serve up a menu this great, this tasty. Snack time or meal time, day or night. Anytime is a great time for Mickey D's. 8 items for 88 cents each. Can't be beat. 8 for 88 at Mickey D's. And I like it. Did somebody say McDonald's? 8 great menu items, just 88 cents each.
Well, we've got 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. I'd like to tell you about a couple of things. I'm ready. Not really. High school basketball starts tomorrow. You know, usually, Joe, we get a week off, at least 1 week off, and we got to go straight back into basketball tomorrow night. I'm not whining or anything, but we're going to be at Pandora Gilboa as they take on Alanis. Bob Arnson and I to bring you all the action. Make sure to tune in. Replay time, 11 o'clock.
But you know, Joe, the guys at Wapak tell me he takes off about every day at school anyway, so.
That's funny.
There's the pitch back on the far side goes Brad Barnett, and Brad never did find the corner. Is over there to make sure that he had little, if any, success was Jeff Fisher, and help from Brad Klaus.
And I've been nice to you the whole game, Howard. You got to know
and
that.
Rightly so.
Scott Stiles has too. You know, we're going to go down the field when this is over. Make sure to stay tuned for the 5th quarter. We'll talk to the coaches and players from the Jays. That's the 5th quarter following our post-game show on Fox 67, and you will see the Jays hoist that championship trophy.
The give on the counter and driving for next to nothing is Brad Barnett. Picked up a yard, leaving the ball at the 43-yard line, 4th down, and about 7 yards to go.
You want to see something neat, Joe? We're going to throw up on the screen right now a picture of Howard Overman as he's coaching during the New Bremen game. I think it was against St. John's. So you're not going to get to see it right now, but all the fans, take a look at this guy. He's all over the field. That's
pretty calm and collected.
It's our guy up here in the press box with us, Howard Overman.
What are all those beeps? Well, the punt just got away as it was Brad Klaus attempting to block, and the ball rolling, and it can't roll any further. 1 yard line, 1st down, 10 yards to go for Delphos St. John at their own 1 yard line.
What are you all upset about, Howard?
Well, I didn't see the clip, but it's very unlike me to be upset for any reason. So I don't know where you might have got that.
Have you seen yourself mellow out? Are most coaches going to become more mellow over the years like you have, Howard?
Yeah, I think I have to.
Either that or suffer a heart attack.
That's right. But it's an intense sport, and you put a lot of time and effort into it, and sometimes I guess the emotions can get the best of you.
You look good though.
Well, thank you.
That was a 60-yard punt, and McCormick out of the end zone unloads and almost caught. What a great effort by Jace Metzner up at the 40-yard line, and it will be 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Well, they looked to bust this wide open, didn't they? If they hit that, he could go the distance. But, Fisher Catholic, if they can make a good stand here, they're going to get good field position, and you never know what can happen. I mean, we watched the Coldwater game this morning, and we thought they were down and out, and they were able to fight back into it.
Well, last year, Canton McKinley won Division I, Defiance 2, Columbus St. Francis de Sales 3, Germantown Valley View 4, Liberty Center 5, and of course these Jays won in Division 6.
That was only the 7th pass of the game for Delphos St. John. This time a handoff to Schulte, and he is able to pound for a couple of yards out to the 3. 3rd down, and along 7, almost 8.
And Howard, next year this even gets more exciting because we're going to double up on those playoffs. A lot more teams going to be in it.
And again, being a coach, I'm all for that. There's some people not, but I think it's a great opportunity to get more kids involved and to see it. I know some people are concerned playing 15 games instead of 14, but we're the only sport, again, that doesn't get the opportunity to get everybody in.
Schulte fights up over the 10 to the 14-yard line. That's good for a 1st down and gives the Delphos St. John Blue Jays some breathing room. On the Lone Zone scoreboard with 7:08 to play, the Blue Jays 26 and Fisher Catholic 8.
Carr, you saw a little bit of Chad of the old there. He made some nice cuts, I'll tell you, right on a dime. And
well, this turf's got to help out, too.
Yeah, it can, but also it can hinder a little bit if you got a bad knee. It doesn't give much.
Pitch back to Schulte, and the big guy rumbles up to the 19-yard line.
And then we've talked before, Howard, too, about injuries, especially on turf like this. You know, a lot of the guys we've talked to in sports medicine say most of the injuries, especially knee injuries, will come from the stopping. When you're trying to make that stop and then make a cut, that's where a lot of the ankle injuries, the knee injuries occur. And like you said before, that can really jar your knee around on surface like this.
That's why you see so many professional stadiums going back to natural turf, because it does have some give to it.
Right.
Whereas here, it's amazing how tacky it is, and you see people actually stumbling on their own because it has such a good grip.
Counter.
And on the counter play, it was David Martz getting more running room and another first down up to the 29-yard line. And now the Blue Jays of Delphos St. John are starting to put the finishing touches on a back-to-back championship.
Well, Scott, we're getting down to that time. 6:06 remaining. What do you think, bud?
Carl, before the offense went out last time, Vic called the offense all over, and he goes, finish them off right here. He goes, don't give them a chance to get the ball back. Grind it out, run the clock out. And right now, they're following his orders. Back to you guys.
Very wide to the right is Craig Hershey. In the slot is Brad Klaus, and the ball goes to Schulte, the 30, the 34. He is knocking on the door of 300 yards rushing, I am told.
I'll tell you what, these defensive backs at Fisher Catholic are going to have nightmares tonight. They're going to see Chad Schulte in their dreams.
Well, he also has the single-game rushing record at St. John's. This is kind of an average game for him, Joe. He's had over 400 yards rushing in a game before as well.
Ball just over the 34, and it is second down and 6 yards to go. Clock ticks down to 5:15 before the Blue Jays can start celebrating. Hershey left, Klaus right. Schulte hauled down that time at the 35-yard line. Wrestled to the ground at that point by Matt Anderson.
And remember, fans, for Delphos St. John's, or if you even want to join in, they will have a welcome home ceremony for Delphos St. John's on Sunday night. Gets underway at 7 o'clock from Robert Arnzen Gymnasium. They'll be, again, celebrating another St. John Blue Jay championship with only 4:36 remaining in this one.
Schulte comes out of the game, gets a fine round of applause. Zach Weber takes his spot, and he also gets the ball. 35 and 40, 45 and 50, and down the sideline, caught from behind and out of bounds. Ben Forker made the desperation tackle. They'll spot the ball at the Fisher 39-yard line, and with 4:21 to go, the ball will be spotted just inside the 40, and we have an official's timeout.
Well, Scott Stiles almost hit it there. If you remember, Howard, he said that Zach would zing for one more touchdown here in the game. We haven't seen it yet, but he was just one tackler away that time from nailing the big one.
We have a man down for the Irish right in front of the Blue Jays bench.
I don't see a number there, Joe, but, you know, zing is probably a good word to use because I tell you what, when he comes in there, there's some zing into that offense.
Well, our zinger is down there on the sideline. What's going on, Scott?
Carl, Lancaster guys down on the field, but check this hat out. Check this out. You've been waiting for this all year. I'm going to make my prediction right now. Delphos will win the football game. Back to you.
Oh, boy, way to go out on a limb there with that hat on. You know, that hat, that kind of fits you well.
Thanks.
In more ways than one.
I tell you what, you got to have a good-sized head for this thing. I tell you what, it'd be around your neck if you wore this thing. Back to you.
He's always been a Dr. Seuss lookalike, right?
Hey, it gives us time to tell you about our big Super Bowl party. Mark your calendar for Sunday, January 24th. Fox is going to throw the biggest NFL Super Bowl party ever. We've had one before. Our guests will include from the Browns, Eddie Johnson, Sam Clancy, Ricky Feature, Cleo Miller, just some of those guys. Bobby Hoeing might be there, Jeff Hardings, William White, Jim Lachey. Again, that's Sunday, January 24th. We will be in Lima, and we'll tell you more about it here. It's going to be at the Lima Holiday Inn. All sorts of neat stuff going on. So make sure to stop off, 1 to 6 p.m. Won't cost you a dime. And again, that'll help out with the Cleveland Browns kickoff, as they're just a few months away from their joining back into the NFL. Get time, Joe, stop on down.
That player, Carl, is still flat on his back over by the Blue Jays bench, being tended to by both the trainer from, it's the guy who made the tackle, they tell me, Ben Forker. And he has been down there for a long, long time. The game is being delayed at this point. Ball at the 39-yard line.
We're looking here in the record books, Joe. It says that the most yards gained rushing in a championship game is by, if you remember this guy, I'm sure you do, Howard, from St. Henry, Paul Kaiser, 202 yards. And if the case is right for Chad Scholey, he has broken that record for most yards gained in a championship game. Should also tell you, if you remember last year's game, Howard, the game was kind of dominated by one player. Well, I shouldn't say one player, a guy who really stood out. If you remember Greg Grotehouse,
oh yeah,
the big tight end for St. John's, caught some remarkable passes last year from Aaron Elwer, the quarterback. And now Greg, of course, playing some football of his own. Redshirted this year, of course, for the University of Toledo, but he's going to be a force in the next couple of years as well. But that was, again, a great performance by Greg last year.
Well, the damage has been done to Ben Forker, who is a senior and a defensive back. It's his left wrist, and he is being taken back across the field. He is walking under his own power, but he has that left wrist all wrapped up in an air cast, and it would appear that his high school career is over, and it ended on a desperation tackle of Zach Weber to keep the Blue Jays from scoring again. Yeah, unofficially now they tell us Schulte has 280 yards.
Might be kind of easy to find a player of the game for this one, Howard.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd get a chance to pick one again this week.
I think we'll still let you do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Klaus in motion. Pitch back to Schulte, and Schulte knocked down as he got across the 40 to the 39-yard line. A man who has done a nice job defensively today for Fisher Catholic, John Markwood, made the tackle.
You know, I know, Howard, that you guys picked the Jays prior to the season probably to win this thing again, but did you think they were going to be as tough as they were this year?
Tough, yes, but not as dominant. You know, what they did to our league is remarkable, and what they're doing again this year. To win this many football games at any level is a tremendous task.
Schulte pounds his way down to the 37. The clock pounds its way down to 3:38 to play.
And they lose Huntingford on that offensive line, and Godey, and Morris, and Steeman, and Jace Metzner, and Dave Martz. They also lose Chad Scholey. But I tell you, as you look through this lineup, and I'm just talking starters right now, they've got a lot of starters back on the offense and defense, and a very good junior varsity team. And as you go down through the grade levels, a lot of good guys coming back for this Blue Jay team. Sorry to say that, Howard.
Well, that's okay. I mean, again, I think everybody else is working on their team and getting better and getting to their to the Delphos level. And again, it's going to be another great year. Great catch out there by Jace.
Listen to the fans, because they know what Jace has went through the last couple of weeks, because this guy is a competitor. He wanted to be in there at 100% and make his presence known, and they appreciate stuff like that right there.
I have an interesting stat for you. The most yards gained Division VI championship by a team. 295 yards by Norwalk St. Paul against Delphos St. John's last year. So
they scored 28 points. I know the goal of this team right here, St. John's tonight, was to shut out Fisher Catholic, and they almost did that.
Schulte, who's running the ball right now, he forgot to take the ball with him, and it is picked out of the air and run the other way by Andy Lipp, and he is going to go all the way.
Well, you don't see that happen too much. Now we got a flag. I think it was an unsportsmanlike against Jace Metzner at around the 37-yard line. I think he might have said something, and the official was right there, as that was a 75-yard touchdown for Fisher Catholic to make it 26-14.
I think what happened there is after the play, Jace got blocked back on, and he didn't care for that, and went and retaliated and let him know that he wasn't real happy with that. But that's kind of uncharacteristic of Jace to lose his composure like that.
Well, Andy Lipp picks the fumble out of the air when it got away from Chad Schulte, and he took it the distance to make it 26-14 with 2:45 to play.
And again, we're just a couple of minutes away from going down on the field. You will see one heck of a celebration here at Canton's Fawcett Stadium. It's going to get even better when they return back to Delphos, Joe. You're going to see that place all lit up. Last year, they brought the buses back, toilet paper everywhere, and the fans celebrated. Then the Jays will return to Robert A. Arnzen Gymnasium on Sunday to officially welcome their team home for that nice ceremony they'll have. Heading to Delphos tonight, be a nice place for you, Howard.
Well, I would, but I'm gonna stay here and watch the rest of them. You know, we've had two real good football games so far, and I believe there's going to be 4 more yet. So I'm going to stick around here.
I'll save you a pop.
Well, thank you very much.
For the 2 points, complete. And the pass ends up in the grasp of Dominic Boyden in the end zone, and it is now 26-16.
10-point game, 2:45. You know, you think they're going to onside here, Joe? You've seen some football games in your day. Or is it too early to do that?
Hey, send it down to Scotty.
Send it down to Scotty. He has all the answers.
He's got the stupid hat and all the predictions.
That's right.
Scott, Joe says send it down to the guy in the stupid hat to see if there's any predictions coming up here.
Yeah, predict an onside kick. How's that?
That's what we were just talking about. We were asking Joe, and he said send it down to you. So you're going out on a limb again, Scott.
Well, Big Joe's a smart guy. You can't take anything away from him. He's not too smart because he's sitting next to you, though. But I tell you what, Joe, you're right. Expect an onside kick. And the way they line up, it's going to be a heck of an effort for Delphos trying to cover that fumble up or cover that kick up. Back to you guys.
Okay, and the scoring drive, 75 yards, 1 play on that return. Took just 10 seconds. 2-point conversion was good. And again, that's where we stand right now with our Krause Lumber Do-It Center scoring drive recap, 26-16.
You know, in a game of football, that ball goes in some weird bounces, you know. Here, Delphos making some nice chunks of yardage, and all of a sudden it ripped out, and it bounces right into a guy's hand in full stride, and he takes it the distance.
Yeah, we're looking at those records again. The most yards gained rushing overall any game, state championships, only 287 yards. So Chad's going to set a record
individual?
There. Yep.
And I don't know what you mean by only 287.
Only with Chad having over 200 himself. I mean, he's got...
I think that's a great feat. There's a lot of running backs in high school football like to have 287
total.
There's the onside kick, and Josh Will grabs it. He's buried, but he hangs on, and Delphos St. John has the ball at their own 48-yard line with 2:45 to play.
Well, I'd say with the first down here, how many timeouts? I don't think Dave Metzger has the official ones. 2 timeouts remaining for St. John's, and Lancaster guy still has all 3 of theirs left.
They're going to have to burn them. Again, I think what they're going to be doing is what they did on the last series is stripping the football, and you're going to see the Delphos St. John's running backs covering it up with both hands and securing it.
Coming out wide to the right is Jay Schmethner. Klaus in the slot. Schulte is grabbed around the ankles by Joe Aiello and brought down shy of the 50-yard line.
Not using timeouts right now, Howard. Does that surprise you at all?
Oh, I think they can get by with maybe 1 here. They're going to try to save them here for at least the offense, but probably after this play, you'll see a timeout called. You know, they want to keep it for the 4th down so they just don't run the clock out, and take a 5-yard penalty. So they're going to probably burn one the next 3 downs.
2nd and 9. Doug Martz, Chad Schulte of the setbacks. That's Schulte crashing off right tackle and down to the Fisher 43.
See that hole that time. You see Phil Gunder down on the ground right now after the nice block that he made. Also getting up the number 62, Eric Morris. And again, what a story for Eric coming back after last year at this time, being in a wheelchair with his injury and using their whole bodies with Tony Steeman, 77 in there. And they've been doing this all season long and looking good there on another nice set of blocks on that offensive line.
3rd and 2. Clock ticking merrily along. Give to Schulte. He'll try the left side, and he's got the open door at the 30 and runs over Dominic Boyden and has first down yardage at the Fisher 22-yard line.
You know, as we're getting ready to wrap things up, I'd like to thank all the guys from Fox 67 making this football season possible. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Scott Brinkman, Josh Mann, James McFarland, Charles Smith, Ray Tanner, Ronnie Coons, Dave Mesker, Bob Askins, Keith Horner, Scott Stiles, good old Howie to my right here, Howard Overman, and Joe Tate joining us for this championship game. Great season.
In the backfield, Schulte pounds off right guard and is dropped at the 16-yard line.
Well, guys, 58 seconds away from a state championship for St. John's.
26-16 on the load zone scoreboard in favor of the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. And we've got a penalty. And a bit of a hike coming up here. Takes it back to the 23 and then walks off 5 to the 28. Be first and 15.
Great job by Peanut Recker and his defense tonight, holding a very good Fisher Catholic team to just 8 points. Although they have 16 up on the board, that came after a fumble recovery. Nice job by the defense.
You know, also the defense, it was after a turnover that Fisher Catholic scored first time.
Right. After the interception.
Schulte drives down to the 25. Clock at 42 seconds and counting.
And you saw the sign earlier, Howard. Jack Bertling and some of his friends up in the front row had a sign that said something about Carl and Tony and the gang, and the last word was, forget about it. And right now you can say to Lancaster Fisher Catholic, even though they had a great football game here today, it's time to forget about it because the Delphos St. John Blue Jays are going to win a state championship.
Second down, 3 yards to go. Take that back. Second down, 12 yards to go. Schulte, or no, this is Zach Weber scampering to the outside, and that should do it to it. So it's 26-16. Delphos St. John Blue Jays repeat as the Division 6 state champions. Carl?
That means we're going to go down the field as you see the Blue Jays start to get together. They're going to be shaking hands with Fisher Catholic, and pretty soon those hands are going to be clutching a championship trophy. We will take time out, and we'll have our 5th quarter post-game show coming up next here on Fox 67.
Fox 67 is proud to bring you tonight's high school football playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the broadcast rights of this game. If it wasn't for the support of the following businesses, this broadcast would not have been made possible. United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Harder & Son Memorial Chapel at 209 West 3rd Street in Delphos. Harder & Sons wishes good luck to their favorite coworker, number 77, Tony Steeman. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable at 695-2921 for all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Reliable has 24-hour emergency service. Lat Landscaping, where no job is too big or too small. Everyone at Lat Landscaping would like to say good luck, Jays, and great job, Blue Jays Marching Band. Fox 67 would like to wish the best of luck to all of the area teams during this year's football playoffs.
Where the action is.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's home-style family of foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Intercom Information Systems, placing the world at the fingertips of those who will be leading us in the future.
When is an oil change more than just an oil change? When you go to Quick Change Oil and Lube, featuring top quality Valvoline lubricants. We also clean your windshield, vacuum your floors, check all your fluid levels, and check your tire pressure. Best of all, no appointments are necessary. Come to Quick Change Oil and Lube today on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. And now try our new location on North Perry Street in Ottawa, as well as Van Wert. Same great prices, same great service. People who know use Valvoline.
Intermedia 3 is the link to your success. When it comes to the internet, nobody serves you better than Intermedia 3. Whether you're a business looking to grow or just looking for local access to the internet, Intermedia 3 has the right answers. Our associates offer a wide array of computer and internet experience. Intermedia 3, now with local access, designed to provide local computer technology to the community with affordable pricing. For more information on local access, call 692-8211. Intermedia 3, your complete source for all your internet needs.
Welcome back to Canton's Fawcett Stadium. We are getting ready for the presentation of the championship trophy to the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. They have won back-to-back state championships in Division VI football.
Delphos St. John's Blue Jays, their second straight state championship Division VI trophy. Congratulations.
And again, the Blue Jays hoisting their trophy high in the air as they win for the second straight year the Division VI championship crown.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity, thanks among others to real community banks that invested in your hometown. So that one day, you can tell your grandchildren about how at least once, your walk to school was uphill both ways, just like your dad.
It's a rumble in the bayou as Emmitt Smith and the division-leading Cowboys battle the Saints.
Hey, guys! Move over, I can't see!
Fox NFL Sunday this week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. NFL Under the Helmet checks out the football stars of tomorrow and looks back at how today's NFL heroes got their start. NFL Under the Helmet, following Fox Kids.
Now, WOHL Lima's Fox Station presents The Fifth Quarter, featuring interviews with the team, the coaches, and the fans. The Fifth Quarter is brought to you by the Commercial Bank, one great bank, with offices in Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. Intercom Information Systems, helping children help themselves on Elida Road in Lima. McDonald's of Lima, Delphos, and Russell's Point. Did somebody say McDonald's? Quick Change Oil and Lube on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. Westridge's Furniture and Appliances with 3 locations in Delphos. And Yoder's Homestyle family of fine foods. Now, let's go back to Fawcett Stadium in Canton and join Carl Metzger, Joe Tate, Howard Overman, and Scott Stiles for the fifth quarter.
Football game is over. The Delphos St. John Blue Jays. We got a bunch of these guys gathered around us right now because they've won their second straight championship. 26-16, over Fisher Catholic, and they ran out of guys to throw water on, so I'm soaking here in the back. But congratulations to all these guys. One guy we're going to name the player of the game for this one. Could have been a lot of these guys, offense or defense. Well, I don't know the official numbers. We're over 300 yards, I believe, rushing. That's a single-game record for a Division VI championship game. Also, of all the guys who have rushed in any football game in a championship game, he has the most yards of anybody, and that also has a lot to do with the offensive line. I know that Chad will be thanking here in a second. First of all, congratulations to you, Chad.
Thank you very much. You know, it was a hard-fought game, and we came out on top. It's a great victory.
And a lot of adversity for you, buddy, because of the injuries, you're missing 4 games or so, and coming back and be able to beat on a team like Fisher Catholic.
Well, I got a great bunch of guys around me, you know, help me get through everything, and everything turned out great.
Okay, buddy, we got a plaque for you somewhere. Howard Overman is going to bring a plaque in here, congratulate you on a great season and also a great career, because Chad obviously is senior. And we'll talk to some of these other guys too, as we now have for you. This is called the 5th quarter, brought to you by a lot of great sponsors. Let's go around, just talk to some of these guys. When I talk to you, I'll let you guys go so you can get back and get ready to go home to celebrate. Josh Will over here, and another great game for you, Josh.
We knew coming in it was going to be a tough game, and they run the ball, they just pounded at you, and our defense just rose to the occasion, and they couldn't stop our offense. So it was all on the defense, because it was all on the defense basically, because the offense was unstoppable.
And buddy, you had another interception today.
And that's just icing on the cake.
And does the All-Ohio honors mean anything to you compared to something like this?
That's icing on the cake too. The state champ, I'd take 5 state championships over anything like that. I mean, this is a great feeling, and all of us here, all this camaraderie, it's great.
Okay,
back
buddy.
to back.
Go celebrate, buddy. Okay, we're going to keep. Oh, I know who this is. The big guy on the offensive line, and Chad is going to thank you again after this with some nice holes again today, Tony.
It was a great game. I tell you what, we wanted this one bad. We came out here, made up our minds. We knew they were a good football team, great defense, and the offensive line came out, and we knew we were going to have to take it to them. We put the wood to them, played our hearts out, played a great game. Everybody.
You had another great one, buddy. We'll let you go. Congratulations on a great season. We'll go over here. Big number 72, Keith Huntingford, one of those big boys helping out as well. Great football game, buddy.
Yeah, I'm just glad we won again, man. It's a thrill. I wouldn't play for anybody else but this team, man. They're a great group of guys. I love playing with these guys.
Did the Irish surprise you at all?
Yeah, they did. I knew they were going to be a good football team. They came out and they played. That's exactly what they had to do. They did the best they can. We did the best we could. We came out on top.
Go celebrate, Bear. Okay. Mr. Zinger over here, Zach Weber, 37. Didn't get a zing as much tonight, but you got to be happy with another championship, bud.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a blessing. You know, come back, second year in a row, and you come back and you win it. I mean, not too many teams get a chance to do that, and hopefully next year we'll be back again.
Yeah, you got 2 more years, right?
Yeah, I got 2 more.
Okay, buddy, congratulations. We'll let you go as well. We keep on going. Big number 78, Josh Ricker, and it's got to be especially pleasing for you to be able to be in the state championship game, right?
Yeah, I was hurt last year, and I didn't get to participate in the game at all. Just on the sidelines to watch. And my brother, he was on the 94 team that we lost in the semifinalists, and it's amazing, the feeling. It felt great last year, but this is just unbelievable, the feeling I have.
And these guys started out pretty well, too. They're throwing all kinds of different things at you on the offense, weren't they?
Yeah, we were a little worried at first, but our defense stepped up as usual. Our defense, it's just been amazing the last few games, and we just stepped up again and took the wood to them.
Now, I know this especially means a lot to you because you didn't get to play last year in the championship game, but overall as a team, does it get any sweeter, number 2?
I don't know. I can't explain the feeling. It's just unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to put it in words.
You go think about it for a little bit. I'm going to be back Sunday, and we'll get your impressions Sunday
All
as
right,
well,
buddy.
okay?
Thanks.
And again, number 57 in here as well, Kyle Schimmeler. Kyle, for you, getting a chance to play a lot with St. John's this year, got to be great to take home another trophy.
Oh, yeah, last year was something else, but this year, I mean, it's our senior year. It's great.
And, these guys that came out here today, they get to a championship game. They knocked off the number 2 team in the state of Ohio, the number 3 team in the state of Ohio, but unable to knock off the number 1 team, right?
Yeah, they were a good team. I knew they were going to be tough, but we just went out and put the wood to them. We tried to dominate the offensive line, and we always try to put the game on the line. That's what we did.
Okay, buddy. Have a nice celebration tonight, okay? Keeping them going now here, a guy who had a couple more extra points tonight, has been doing it all season long. What'd you end up with, over 80 this year?
I couldn't tell you. It was probably close to 80.
Now, the national record was something like 87, was it?
It was 78.
78, so if you went over 80, obviously you beat the national record as well.
I was 11 off from this game, and I knew it was going to be a good game. I didn't think I'd get as many as I could, but
I mean, I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say.
It's been different from you, though, Charlie, because you had been the guy who comes in, kicks you at the points, kick the football. The other guys are getting banged around and stuff like that, and you probably wanted to get in there and mix it up sometimes, didn't you?
Well, yeah, there are those times where it's like, well, I'd like to go in, but I know I can't because Coach would just really chew me out if I got hurt.
Well, congratulations on being named first team All-Ohio, too. Go celebrate now,
Thank
okay?
you, sir.
Keep it going. We got Brad Klaus back here. How's it going, Brad?
Fine.
Are you happy you fired up?
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't look like you're real excited yet, though.
Oh, I'm real excited. It's twice as nice. The line, they just blocked great. Scott had a great game. Schulte. He's just great. He's awesome. Our defense played spectacular. Our linebackers were awesome. And our defensive line, they just were awesome, too.
How does this compare to last year for you, Brad?
Well, it's just as nice. It's even better. You never get used to this. You like it every year. Now, last year we got greedy and we just wanted to get in, so we tried, and we got back here and we played as hard as we could, and we did it again.
Okay, buddy, congratulations. Go celebrate now, okay? Take it easy, and we keep on moving. Over here now, we got big number 70. I was looking here before because they had some different numbers on you and weights and heights and that stuff, Keith, but you were showing what you were made of tonight, weren't you?
Yeah, it was just, wow. I mean, twice as nice. They came out and they hit hard, and they were doing all kinds of stuff and blitzing and that, and we just had to stick to our rules, and wow.
That's a state championship game. You know, you blocked against a lot of guys, especially when we talk about the MAC. It's prepared you well for a football game like this. But when you're blocking against a team that's coming up against you in a state championship game like this, were they any tougher? Was it any harder for you tonight, or what was the difference or the comparison?
They were the quickest defense we played all year. I mean, their front guys weren't big at all, but they were so fast. They fired off just as quick as we were, and it was just a matter of getting their blitzes and stuff. And they just fired and shot gaps.
And for them, that's what they've been doing all season long. You guys knew coming in they were a great defensive team, didn't you?
Yeah. We watched films and everything, and we knew what they were going to do and how they did it. They didn't really hit hard, but they did. They just blitzed.
Okay, buddy. Congratulations. Go enjoy it, okay? And finally, we got another one here, Phil Gunder, who, you know, Phil, the centers don't always get a lot of that credit, right? Because even though everything starts with you, if you don't hike the ball, the action doesn't start. But for you, it's got to be especially pleasing because you know that in your backfield, you get a fire out for that first block, and you got guys like Chad Schulte behind you.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier when you got people like Chad running back there, and they know they can, if you miss your block, you can always break a few tackles, but I don't need any credit. I don't like it. I just like being center and not nobody noticing me.
I want to talk about, because we haven't really talked about it with an offensive lineman yet, about that Wednesday night deal. I read it in the newspaper and all that, but what's this big Wednesday night deal you guys just pick out on all the good food?
It's just a tradition that they, I guess, started last year. We all go to somebody's parents' house and see as much food as we can, mostly pasta, so we can have more energy for the next week.
Now, will there be a final big meal for you guys?
I think there could be possibly one.
Probably be a real good one, too, right? Congratulations, Phil.
Thanks.
Go celebrate, okay? And we will take a timeout. We're going to do stats first. Let's do the stats first. I'm sure that Vic Whiting is around here somewhere, and we will talk to Vic. Dave will stop as soon as Vic comes over, though.
Right. Let's get the final stats for you. Brought to you by Western's Furniture with 3 locations in Delphos. For the game, Delphos St. John's racked up 429 yards. 295 of those yards coming by Chad Schulte, which is not only a Division VI state championship record, but an all-time state championship record for most yards gained by an individual. For the game, Delphos St. John's with 397 yards on the ground on 52 carries. From the air, McCormick 3 of 8 for 32 yards. Once again, 429 yards of offense for the Jays today. First downs, 19 for the Jays, 3 turnovers, and penalty yardage, 5 penalties for 42 yards. Looking at Lancaster Fisher for the game, they had 33 carries, racking up 90 yards in rushing. From the air, Carl, only 1 of 6, -2 yards passing, 88 total offensive yards for the game. They had 4 first downs, 2 turnovers, and 2 penalties for 15 yards.
Okay, and we'll bring Vic Whiting in here now. Congratulations, Coach. Another state championship. Howard comes in because these guys, you know, when the MAC wins a championship like this, you know, the Blue Jays win it, but also Vic, as he said many times, it's also for the conferences, for the MAC. 2 things I want to talk about after I, again, congratulate you, Vic, is let's talk about the defense first, and we'll get to Chad Schulte. Tonight, 88 total yards for Lancaster Fisher Catholic. Another great stellar performance by the D.
What an awesome defense we have. And it doesn't matter if you're going to throw it all the time, if you're going to run it all the time. It doesn't matter. Our D has been fantastic all year. You know, we've got great leaders over there, particularly Will, Fisher, and Martz, and tough stud linebackers in Etzcorn and Murray. And our front line people play great. Our ends aren't the biggest kids in the world, but they play way above their size. And I'm just really proud. You know, we rotate about 16 kids in on defense, so it's not just 11. And what a job Steve Recker's done all year long. You know, I don't know how many yards rushing they had, but we've not had anyone rush over 55 yards against us this year. So.
Well, they had negative yardage in passing, so it had to be at least around the 80-yard marker. So, you know, I also got to mention that some of your coaches were telling me we must have done something for Doug Martz because he was calling his own blitzes tonight.
Yeah, see, you know, that's one thing. Doug is a great player because he's so smart. He studies film, he studies the reports, and he recognizes formation play so well. And, you know, you got a kid that maybe has a foot up the wrong way, or a kid that maybe grabs his sock before he runs the ball, or a guard that looks one way. I mean, he's going to find it. And he does a great job for us getting us in what we need to, changing defenses.
Okay, one more individual player we'll talk about because it was his final game as a St. John Blue Jay, and you'll get a chance to talk to him a lot more when you go to the welcome home celebration, and I'm sure to some other coaches from the college ranks and all that. But Chad Schulte, what a performance he had here tonight. Set the single-game rushing record for any player who's ever played in Division 1 through 6 with as many yards as he had tonight, almost 300 yards. What a performance. And you said in the beginning of the first half, I think when you were talking to Scott, that maybe we're using Chad a little bit too much. Maybe we'll cut down and go to some of the pass in the second half, but Chad really did her tonight.
Well, we felt before the game Chad was ready to explode, but you know what? This is a kid that totally overcame everything all season long, from having back surgery in July to making it back by the 4th week of the season, and he just has overcome so much, and then to have a major knee injury in the 9th game. I mean, he started running well in the 6th game, and he ran well in the 7th. They had 400 yards in our 8th game, and then had 100 yards in the first quarter of the 9th game when he was injured. And then now he's got to rebuild his knee back up, and he misses 3 more weeks. And you got to chomp at the bit when you're the player of the year before, and you go through so much adversity. But he showed his true grit, and he doesn't have his speed back yet. He was probably running 4.8 right here, and he's a 4.5 40 man. And you know, the major schools, if they look at film this year, they're not going to see Chad Schulte because he never did get back to as good as he could be. And he gets about 3 months rest, and he'll be back to that 4.5 speed. And somebody should use him because he's a great player. And you know what? I could almost cry because he's the last Schulte. He's gone. I got no more Schultes.
He'll have kids. He'll have kids.
Yeah, well, we got to funnel him back over here. But, you know, we got some younger kids to step in there. But Chad Schulte is a tough kid, and what an offensive line to run behind. You know, those are the guys that we challenged all year long. I told him when Schulte was hurt at the beginning of the year, I said, you have to carry us this entire season because I don't know how good the defense is going to be. We had 8 starters replaced, and, you know, that offensive line carried us the whole season, and the defense, what a job.
Yeah, and we'll have one more comment from me because we've been talking specifics so far, but 2 in a row for you guys now. Great support from all the fans that were here tonight. How's it feel overall to win the 2nd straight?
It feels great. You know, it feels fantastic. You know, our league prepares us so well for this, and you know, now we got to go back next year and play the hard games. We got to go back into our league. So, you know, if we can get by those people, we got a chance in the playoffs.
I know you want to go back and celebrate now, and be careful this time, okay?
All right, thanks.
Coach Vic Whiting, the head football coach for the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, we'll let him go. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here from Fawcett Stadium right after this.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity, thanks among others to real community banks that invested in your hometown. So that one day, you can tell your grandchildren about how at least once, your walk to school was uphill both ways, just like your dad.
8488 at Mickey D's. 8488 at Mickey D's. This is the place.
8 for $8. Only McDonald's could serve up a menu this great, this tasty. Snack time or meal time, day or night. Anytime is a great time for Mickey D's. 8 items for 88 cents each. Can't be beat.
8 for $8 at Mickey D's. And I like it.
Did somebody say McDonald's? 8 great menu items, just 88 cents each.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
action is.
Intercom information systems, placing the world at the fingertips of those who will be leading us in the future.
When is an oil change more than just an oil change? When you go to Quick Change Oil and Lube, featuring top quality Valvoline lubricants. We also clean your windshield, vacuum your floors, check all your fluid levels, and check your tire pressure. Best of all, no appointments are necessary. Come to Quick Change Oil and Lube today on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. And now try our new location on North Perry Street in Ottawa, as well as Van Wert. Same great prices, same great service. People who know use Valvoline.
What a great game by the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, winning their second straight state championship over Lancaster Fisher Catholic. 26-16 was our final. And again, Chad Scholey was our player of the game, brought to you by the Commercial Bank. We're in our fifth quarter right now. We had a chance to talk to all of those St. John Blue Jay players. And we like to tell you the score by quarters. After one quarter, only chance the Lancaster Fisher Catholic had to have the lead. They were on top 8-7, halftime 13-8 Jays. They increased it to 26-8 in the third quarter. And then, or I should say, in the fourth quarter, they finished up, didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. And Lancaster Fisher Catholic got that fumble recovery, went back for a touchdown and the extra points. And that's how we ended up at 26-16. Howard's going to have some final comments, and Scott Stiles as well. We'll talk to these two fine fellows right after this timeout.
One day, your father will talk about his walk to school. You'll recall today, mist like yesterday's rain and an envelope filled with inevitable truth. Then you'll know your education was more than a rite of passage. It was an opportunity. Thanks, among others, to real community banks that invested in your hometown. So that one day, you can tell your grandchildren about how at least once, your walk to school was uphill both ways, just like your dad.
8488 at Mickey D's. 8488 at Mickey D's. This is the place.
8 for $88. Only McDonald's could serve up a menu this great, this tasty. Snack time or meal time, day or night. Anytime is a great time for Mickey D's. 8 items for 88 cents each. Can't be beat.
8 for $88 at Mickey D's. And I like it.
Did somebody say McDonald's? 8 great menu items, just 88 cents each.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal, because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Come home to where the action is.
Intercom information systems, placing the world at the fingertips of those who will be leading us in the future.
When is an oil change more than just an oil change? When you go to Quick Change Oil and Lube, featuring top quality Valvoline lubricants. We also clean your windshield, vacuum your floors, check all your fluid levels, and check your tire pressure. Best of all, no appointments are necessary. Come to Quick Change Oil and Lube today on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. And now try our new location on North Perry Street in Ottawa, as well as Van Wert. Same great prices, same great service. People who know use Valvoline.
Howard, great football game for Delphos St. John's, again able to defeat a very good Lancaster Fisher Catholic team, and again it came down to the running game of the Blue Jays and the defense.
Yeah, I think, again, Lancaster pretty stingy at the beginning of the game, but second half wore down, and the big offensive line of Delphos, who's done it all year long, and Chad Schulte, I'll tell you what, he definitely saved it for the last game and ran very hard, but I'll tell you what, their defense dominated the game in every way, shape, or form, and put their offense in great scoring opportunities, and I know Lancaster had to be very frustrated about that.
And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to help us out here on Fox. We fed you well. I know that, and we appreciate you, and good luck to you next year.
Hey, thank you very much, Carl, and I really do. I tell you what, this is the first time I've ever experienced something like this, and it was a lot of fun, and meet some new people, and I thank you again for having me, and I truly enjoyed it.
And we do want to dispel the rumors about Howard retiring from football to come join the Fox crew, because it's not true at this point, but we do wish him the best of luck. And Scott Stiles had a chance to be with us for the last few games, and Scott, you saw some great football.
Well, it was, especially tonight, and one thing you got to look at, especially these seniors, you always think about your last game the rest of your life, and no matter what you do the rest of your career in college or whatever, you always remember your last high school football game, and this is a great memory they'll take away for the rest of their lives.
Okay, thank you too, bud.
Thank you. It was a great time.
Scott Stiles, and we want to mention coming up this weekend on Fox on Sunday, we've got the Cowboys in New Orleans. That game gets underway on Fox 67 at 1 o'clock, but think first of all, high school basketball. Believe it or not, Saturday night, Bob Arnzen and I will be at Pandora Gilboa for a non-conference affair between the Alanis Mustangs and the Rockets. Make sure to tune in for that. This is the time we just kind of say thanks to everybody out there, because we are finished with another high school football season. If it wasn't for all the sponsors out there, all the fans, players, coaches, athletic directors, all those guys, it wouldn't have been possible for us to bring these games to you. I'd like to thank Bob Gould from U.S. Filter for supplying all the water, the official drink of the Fox 67 crew during the games, and also to all of our other sponsors. And another one I want to mention right now is Craig Seaver from the Carry Gin in Delphos. Make sure to stop by there during the basketball season. He fed us for a lot of our games this year, and that's why our tummies are pretty full right now. So thanks to everybody out there who made this season a success. I want to also thank our sponsor making it possible. We brought you a pregame show, and that is the Commercial Bank of Delphos, postgame show, Commercial Bank of Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima, and also to all the fine folks who made it possible that we brought you a fifth quarter. And, of course, congratulations to Vic Whiting and the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. They are your Division VI state champs. Again, final score, the Blue Jays 26, Lancaster Fisher Catholic 16. For the whole Fox crew, until Saturday night from Pandora Gilboa, this is Carl Metzger saying so long, everyone.
Thanks for watching the fifth quarter on Lima's Fox station, WOHL. The fifth quarter has been brought to you by Intercom Information Systems on Elida Road in Lima, helping children help themselves. The Commercial Bank, one great bank, with offices in Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. By McDonald's of Lima, Delphos, and Russell's Point. Did somebody say McDonald's? By Quick Change Oil and Lube on Westwood Drive in Van Wert. Yoder's Homestyle family of fine foods, and Westridge's Furniture and Appliances with 3 locations in Delphos. Stay tuned. The Fox 67 High School Sports Scoreboard is coming up next.
To the scoreboard we go. Tonight, high school football state championship action. No score in Division 2. Coldwater in Division 4 loses a heartbreaker to Orville 23-21. The first night of high school boys regular season action, Perry Downs Lincoln View 50-49. Shawnee over LCC 72-69. Elida over Bath 77-53. Lima Senior Downs Columbus. Linda McKinley 84-23. Cincinnati Woodward over Lorraine Admiral King 69-37. Crestview over Delphos Jefferson 66-44. OG over Bryan 81-32. Temple Christian over Hart Northern 43-41. No score for Miller City and Fort Jennings. Fort Recovery over Kalida 52-40. And Continental squeezes by Paulding 48-47. This high school scoreboard has been brought to you by American Heating and Air Conditioning, an energy partner of the AAP. You're watching WOHL Lima's Fox Station.
Tired of driving everywhere looking for a present? Here's a great gift for your driver. Pick up a book of wash tickets from Westwood Car Wash in Salina and Van Wert.